What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the real reality over. Period. I'm your host, Pharaoh Wong. We're joined by our wonderful co-hosts, Lee Wong and Josiane Wong. And the winner of Big Brother Canada 5 is Ika Wong.
Ika Wong.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, Ika winning this season, like, truly makes it the best season in Big Brother history. North America, South America, Australia, Japan, all of them.
Jamaica, Canada.
Wherever Big Brother is held, this is the best.
And that's why this show went on hiatus, because she won.
Period.
They were satisfied. They were like, this is a good ending. This is a great season 5. It's like Breaking Bad season 5 just wrapped it up.
And she got to drive that car. Insert name here. It was iconic.
And then she got with her man.
Married down, mama.
A whole motherfucking journey. Hey, man. Now, let's leave the fantasy.
Do we have to?
Is that Kevin Martin won this season? We wrapped it up. We saw the ending. How did we really feel?
So for me,
the energy shift is killing me.
I think we all had a breath of air for a second. With Kevin, this is what I'll say. After rewatching this season, going in depth with the feeds and talking about it with all of y'all, I definitely don't understand the hype, is what I'll say. The whole term, he broke the game, is hard for me to understand, because in what terms are we speaking of? You know what I mean? He was a heavy studier, and he did know the type of challenges that were upcoming, but he still has someone like Demetres on his ass in a lot of these competitions. Like, he didn't get it easy, you know? And his social game was abysmal. He didn't have to do much of a strategy because he relied on his competitions. And I'm just confused how people can use the word well-rounded on the jury and things like that, when to be well-rounded, you have to have a social, strategic, and physical game. He only had the physical game. His strategy was lacking. His social was lacking. Do I think he's a good representation? I feel like his personality, the type of player that he is an interesting representation for the season. I think most people can look at him and see that this is a, let's be real, straight, white, white male. And I think it's easy to see a white male with this type of gameplay in the winner's seat, because we usually see that in the winner's circle. Like, we're just now getting so many black people, black women, and things like that. So I do feel like, because of the history of Big Brother, it's sometimes easier to see certain people as a winner other than other people. Like Karen, for example, she was not perceived as a winner, therefore she got no votes to win this game. She had already been written off as a winner. You know, I remember when we were watching BB24, the idea of Taylor winning seemed unfathomable, because up until that point, we've never had a black woman be able to win the game. So that this continuously happens, because I see people saying that he still is a good winner, but I find it hard to believe that if a person of color played the same game, that they would be praised as easily. Because we've seen people of color win competitions to get to the end, and they're not respected, like Ty and BB Can 11, like Jag and BB 25. So, not to try to make it like a disrespectful to a POC thing, but in general, I just don't get it. And the only thing I can make sense of it is that he looks like the acceptable person that should be a winner.
Kevin winning, like, the season is so high up in my like how much I love this show. Like, it's probably my favorite season. I would have to rewatch BB Can 10 to see if it competes or if it's better, but because I hold this season in so much regard, in my mind I'm like, well, Kevin must have done something right? It's one of the best seasons and he's the winner. And rewatching this, I've just come to realize how even worse I thought his gameplay was. You forget certain things while you're watching it. Heck, when the show was premiering, I was maybe, it's almost 10 years old now, I guess. It premiered, I think, in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what was I, 16? Like, I'm now 24. So like, it's even watching it as as a person is going to be different. My understanding of the game has widened and has grown and has matured. So yeah, Kevin is an interesting winner to say the least. I don't think it's fair that he won the way he won in terms of like the vote count. It made me feel like it makes it seem like either Karen is really not deserving or that he's super deserving. And it's either. To me, it's the middle. And I think that, Cindy made a comment about Karen's goodbye messages. I do agree with that to a degree. But what Kevin did is that he exploited a flaw in the Big Brother game. He didn't break the game, he exploited something of it, which is something he talked about in season 4. I think he was on RHAP, and he said all of the game itself is strategy throughout, and then when it comes to final 5, final 4, then there's no more strategy really to be played except for winning competitions. And that's why I think people think that he broke the game. I don't think he broke the game per se. I think he exploited a flaw, which is that the comps have such a big value now. Like, the strategy in that end game is, who are you picking to sit beside you? You want to pick the weakest opponent. There's not really much you can do strategy wise to be a better player than what you are now, unless you cut your final 2, your showmans, the person that is obviously going to beat you. So that's I think where people give credit to Kevin for, but I think they think it's so revolutionary when we've seen people win competitions at the end, but the way they don't frame it this way. But because Kevin frames things a certain way, which I'm excited to talk about, it makes it seem bigger than what it is.
Yeah, I agree, especially with that last point. I remember we just did our BB Rewind for Big Brother 6. And when we were rating James Ryan as a player, I remember I gave him a really low rating. And I said, he has, like, me and Lee, we both kind of discussed how he has this approach to the game that makes it feel like he's actually a very capable player. And I still rated him pretty low because in reality, just having a mindset that seems like you're this capable person has absolutely nothing to do with you actually playing a good game. And it really does remind me of Kevin. I feel like he thinks and he speaks in a way that is revolutionized by the majority of fans in the fandom. So because the majority of the fans are the ones deciding someone's legacy, it seems as if he's a better player than he is. But in reality, he just speaks like a straight white man who's a nerd. And it's not even shade. I just think that's the fact. And it makes him seem more capable than he actually is at the game. He's a terrible player. Last time we were trying to find a comparison and we were saying Jordan, or someone in the chat brought up Jordan. And I went back and I saw, and someone said a better comparison is Rachel Riley. And it's never no shade to my queen. But in Big Brother 13, Rachel Riley came in with a built-in alliance due to her veteran status and the rest of them being veterans. And then she got to the end. And I thought she was such an interesting comparison because similarly to Kevin, she is very involved in RHAP or the mainstream or speaking to different podcasts. She is so involved in the world of Big Brother like Kevin is. And going into that season, you would think she would be well regarded, but she came out being talked about as the worst winner ever when she literally did exactly what he did. She had a not so great social game, a not so great strategic game. And by the end of the season, she was able to win so many different competitions, make it to the end. She just didn't speak it in the manner that he did, but she did speak about Big Brother strategy often, even back then, because she was a super fan and a nerd about the game. And I remember going back and watching stuff before she got on this most recent season and being like, oh, Miss Rachel Riley has studied. So it's like, it's very interesting how the people perceive these people based on, I think it's personality. I think he has a personality that's easily digestible to the Big Brother community, and someone like Rachel or someone like Karen doesn't. So they don't get the respect.
And-
It's weird.
And that is because of the norm of winners up until that point.
Mhm.
There's a certain type of archetype that wins Big Brother, and most of the time it would be a straight presenting white male. That is the majority of the winners in Big Brother US and Canada for a reason before the BIPOC rule. So I feel like that is just ingrained in people. It's truly ingrained in society, which is why we're living in the world that people think that if you get a career position that it has to be DEI, because they cannot fathom someone other than a white man being able to do something.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I just found it very interesting that when we look at Kevin, people are saying he's a great player. He broke the game. He's being considered as one of the best, even by people in the jury, like Bruno, like Netta is praising his gameplay. Yet Rachel Riley, someone like Ty, someone like Jags, like there are other winners who won mainly on competitions that don't get that type of respect. Even Xavier is someone who's not highly respected, as someone who's won competitions toward the end game. It's like I want to see what is just so interesting specifically about Kevin that makes him different, because all we saw was him using the veto and keeping his targets in the game twice on his second HOH after the jury. We've seen him make final 2 deals and then turn against them within the same week. We've seen him have no allies the entire time. He was safe, and you have to give him credit. Statistically, he was safe from final 7 onwards, or week 7 onwards. Either him or Demetres was HOH, or he had veto, which is impressive to some extent. However, if he had not won one of those competitions, he would have went home.
Yeah.
And when you put that into the spectrum, that's a whole different story. And you can't say the same 100% for people like Tyshawn, Jag, or Rachel. If we're being honest, they had other outs. This man had no other out other than winning a competition.
Yeah.
So it's what's the impressive thing?
I think also, like, when it comes to Kevin, I was really trying to understand what the prep work he did before getting onto the season. And I had heard a clip of him saying, well, like, in season 3, my biggest weakness was my social game. And in season 5, my biggest weakness was social game again. And I was like, okay, so at least we're self-aware. We have an understanding of that. But I think my thing with Kevin is that I'm just not impressed by this gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, that is a thing too. Like, I can't sit here and say Kevin didn't nibble here and there. He nibbled on some crumbs. Like, okay, like I can give you a cute little 2, cute little 5 here and there. But Kevin went into this game, looked at all the competitions, all the questions that Arisa has asked in the game in the past, and he sat there and studied before even getting into the house. So he knew that competitions were gonna be central to his game. My disappointment is the fact that that was the only thing, in all honesty, that I think is his game. I think he also gets a lot of luck. When people talk about winning Big Brother, luck is a huge component in it, right? The competitions, what competitions were being played when, like things like that also attribute to it. So I think he was lucky in that sense as well. And so when we talk about Kevin as this player, I think, yes, there's things that he did well, but I'm just not impressed by it. That's also a thing that's an opinion, right? Like, I'm not always going to agree with certain people on who I think did the best or who should be America's favorite player or whatever else, and that's okay. But at the same time, I'm glad to see that he's also self-aware in the fact that he lacked in some places. And he also said, like, in poker, like, sometimes you can't focus on the bad hand that you were dealt or the bad move that you did. You just have to charge forward. And I think Kevin played his cards pretty poorly at a few times. But his power here, which I hope we're going to talk about a little bit more, is his ability to frame things. Him saying stuff like, I was alone. They isolated me. They left me alone. No, Kevin, they didn't bully you. And that's the thing. He does this facade of this underdog. Like, he didn't put himself in this situation in the first place. Like, Karen not trusting him stemming from day 2, like, to me it makes sense. Cross me once, it's enough. Like, I don't need to give you that grace, right? They'll call Karen crazy and bitter and not adaptable, but he betrayed her early on, day 3. Everything Kevin had done up until his phone is his fault. Like, he got here.
I didn't like how he tried to call her out for that either. Like, you're mad about something that happened on day 3. Well, you've been lying and backstabbing since day 3, so clearly she had the right idea.
Ciao. So let's talk about how we got there really quick. We're at the Final Four. We play the Final Four HOH. It's Ika, Demetres, Karen. Ika gets her a few points. I was excited. Even though I knew the outcome, I was like, wait, mama's like, you're eating that up. And then she didn't eat. But Demetres did. Demetres ends up winning the head of household competition. He's the HOH. We know it's all about the veto, so we just have to wait till we get there, right? Now, before then, they have the BB Can Awards, which I think is just so much cuter than what the fuck does Big Brother do? The round table, sit down and talk and drink and reminisce.
Yeah.
Give them some awards. Be campy. This is very, very campy. And Nikki comes in. Oh, Nikki Graham, the icon that you are. Rest in peace.
Diva.
Legend icon. She comes in. She gets them dressed. She gets them all together. She does the little red carpet. And then they have the cute little da-da-da-da. I thought it was cute. I don't care too much, but I thought it was cute. Then we get to the real shit. The power veto. This Stranger Things as power veto, I thought it was kind of cute. I love a good Stranger Things, like a good nod to things. So they have to match questions and the answers to those questions on the top and then on the bottom of this little city kind of thing that they're in. Very, very cute. And once again, of course, Kevin, he proves himself. He gets it done in like 12 minutes or something like that. Way faster than everybody else. No shade.
Yeah, and then I just thought of something as well. Like him winning this veto or him winning competitions in general. I think it I don't like, especially in this final 2 scenario. It's not that I don't think he deserves the win. Like even kind of what Josiane saying about how he frames things. Like that is in a way is tricking the system or tricking the game, and also skewing people's view of your game in a way that is playing to some extent. I think it's just more so what Josiane said. Like I'm just not impressed with it, and I don't understand why certain people regard him as so high. Like Bruno's calling him the best to ever play. Netta's saying he's very well rounded. Like I've heard people outside, people talk about it, call him a really great player. Like if you never watched this season, you could easily think, oh, Kevin is one of the best to ever do it. And no, only Kevin Jacobs is that. So when you say Kevin and great in the same sentence, you should know now which Kevin we're talking about. But in general, like, that's really what it is. Like, you kind of ate that up, Josiane. Like, it's just, I'm not impressed with it. Like, him as a winner, fine, you got it. And I think anyone who wins the game and get the jury votes at the end, you are deserving to some extent. Unless your name is Fabio in Nicaragua. But it's like, but even in general, it's just like, if you get to the end and you get the jury votes, I can't take anything away from you. It's just, I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed.
Yeah, same.
I think it's strange what Bruno and them said, but I'm gonna hold that to the side. I just think that like the only thing that makes me a little bit happy about Kevin winning is the fact that he loves the game so much, and you can tell that. Like I always have a place in my heart for those who aren't here just solely for the money. Like obviously money can change your life. Hello, a car can change your life. But the title of being a Big Brother winner in and of itself is such a major reward. Like no one can take that for you. That to me is priceless. And I could tell that Kevin shares that same sentiment. So I enjoy that. But going back to the HOH, watching Ika lose the HOH, it brought me right where I was when I watched it live the first time. It broke my heart because I understood where she was coming from, where I was like, I actually can't blame Demetres, but I remember being sick. I was like, Demetres, you could have thrown this one competition, sir, this one competition. But at the same time, she said something later about earning it. And I was like, you know what? At the same time, like, you don't want to win a competition and then they discredit you later. Oh, well, you're like, your man threw it for you, blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to earn it. You want to say, I did this. I'm the reason I'm winning this. And that's why it was really hurtful to see that aspect. But yeah, I don't know. There's a fourth place curse on BB Can, which is the best people usually leave at 4.
Wait, who else got 4th?
Cassandra.
There's a few. Hold on.
Well,
The first season it was Tala, but she's entertaining. Like
Yeah.
Tala was a really big staple in
It's
season
like
one.
Diva. This is Diva spot.
Diva.
Yeah, season 2 was Heather. Heather's polarizing. Season 3 was Brittany.
It was Brittany.
Diva!
My mother.
That is a diva.
I love Brittany so much.
It went Brittany, Cassandra, Ika. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Ooh, that's a nasty.
That's like the legacy. Yeah. That's what stamped it.
Those are all
And then
women. It was all with Tala, Heather, Brittany, Cassandra, Ika. Damn.
Yeah, I think in season 6 it breaks with Will, if I'm not
Ooh.
mistaken.
Mhm.
But season 7, one of the guys from the Pretty Boy Alliance. But like there are some pretty notable characters that leave at 4.
Yeah, very big characters. Damn.
Adam's another one.
Helena got 4th too.
She did.
Helena got 4th as well. There are a lot of great players that leave at 4. So like it's unfortunate, but like it's not a great thing to say you got 4th, but it's a good category within the context of this game.
Yeah, especially in Canada. Because we were looking at US 4th places. I remember thinking, ooh, scarce pickings over here.
He forgot 4th though.
Oh my man!
Yeah. But no, seriously, quite a few icons leave at 4. So it's like, it's a heartbreaking thing. I will say, if this season, if we had like Canada's favorite player, Ika would have gotten it.
Oh,
I was literally thinking that. I was like, damn, I wish we had Canada's favorite player at this point. Because it's like, I hate when shows, we were talking about that with Survivor. For some reason, obviously Survivor doesn't do the favorite player thing. I'm like, bitch, why the fuck not? They on the island dying. Like, give them $5. You don't even got to give them money. Just give them the title. Like, truly. I know
they did it for a few seasons, and then it became Thea's favorite.
Yeah, it did. It's crazy. No, it did because they don't want to pay them, and it's like, girl, just pay them like $5 or just don't pay them.
They should have introduced it this year for Ika alone. The Ika Favorite Player Award.
Literally,
bitch. That's all I need to do. Like $100,000. Okay, can we?
But I will say she reaped a lot of opportunities, and thank God, because it became a tradition of mine to sit before a season of Big Brother and watch her interview house guests, and I'm so sad that's not anymore. But her interviews are the reason why I won a lot of my draft picks. Like I remember picking Josh to win BB 19 because of her, because he knew who she was. I said, "You know who she is. You're getting my winner pick," and then he won.
Yeah, I miss her interviews and then E News.
They were so
who
good.
Was it? It wasn't E News. It was ET.
Yeah,
Canada
tonight. Yeah, tonight.
Yeah,
Entertainment Tonight.
Child. So this next segment I actually really did like. They have a jury segment where each of the final 4 are able to send in a 1-minute video to the jury. I thought this was like so just interesting, fun. It's just never before seen in the US, and I didn't know this happened. So I was like, oh, this is fun. Y'all better come and tear it up. And then no shade, only I could tore it up. Like no one really tore it up for real for me. I'm and Karen. I thought Karen did a good job, and they thought Karen did a good job as well. The girls did good. To me, the boys didn't do well because
they relied heavily on winning competitions.
Yes, Demetres' little message. He was like, "Yeah, I won comps to navigate, and as soon as I needed to win, I won, and I won the comps that I needed to win, and the one got me, and I won it." And it's like, okay, congratulations, you won comps, and we didn't. Now what? Like, I don't know. Why would I want you to win for that? Plus, he spoke to Cindy in the car, and she said, "Baby, how are you different than Ika?" And he got up there and he didn't say shit. Hello? Think. But we
the 1-minute speeches from everyone, like I like Demetri. I want to give him praise because he's Mr. Ika Wong. But like I was disappointed, and he had the advantage of knowing what the jury thought because he spoke with Cindy, right? And it's kind of the same thing they say when people do auditions, right? They say, show us, don't tell us, right? Yeah. And so you could sit here and say, I'm the funniest person you'll ever meet. They're not going to believe you. You need to show them that you're funny. And that is some of the things, I think, especially with the vets, because they know the audition process. They know what to do. They wanted that show, don't tell. And I feel like Demetres did not show, and it wasn't enough for him to say it, because like they're not on his side. They're not on his team. They can't speak from experience because they had the 6 with him, but after that, like those weren't really his allies like that. Even Dre and William, maybe they could, but they don't seem like they care too much. Like I feel like I got the vibe that they were, not to say that they were easily influenced, but I got the vibe that they were kind of like amongst themselves and then maybe being influenced. But alas, yeah, I was disappointed with Demetres. Kevin was like, you guys, please just give it to me. Like, I love this, blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone loves this, Kevin. We're all here for a reason. Everyone is in this house. They love the game. They want to win. Give me more than that. But he didn't need to because he had his number one cheerleader in the jury house working for him.
Jumping out his seat hearing that bullshit.
Yuck Street. I was sick.
Girl, he was like, yeah, I'm here alone now. I've been in this game alone for the last couple of weeks. All I have to do is win comps. As long as I win comps, I'm moving forward and and I'm alone. And it's like, but once again, like you said, him making it seem. I remember Lee. Was it you?
Was it?
We were watching last week, and you were like, why does he keep saying it's 4 versus 1? It's 4 versus 1. Like, bitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think he's trying to make it seem like he's this underdog. It's exactly what the fuck it is, because he's saying it in every single speech. It's like, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to frame it that way, which smart on you if it works, and it does. So I'll give you that.
Well, I don't even think it does. I truly feel like Kevin didn't have to say shit, and they were going to award him the win.
And that is
the way they were asking those questions, the bias I saw in the jury meeting. It felt like they wanted him to win. I truly feel like if anyone was doing the things that he did, like even when they revealed that he used the veto on Ika, here go Netta. Definitely wasn't a good move. But you know, like, girl,
it's not funny.
What do you mean? They just brushed past that as if that was not one of the dumbest moves ever.
And that's again where even Kevin's framing plays a part in it, right? We all sat here, everyone in the live comments, everyone in the YouTube comments, we were all talking about how that was one of the worst moves ever for him to use the veto on Ika and then put Dylan on the block. But you know what how he frames it in his speech? Oh, well, like, you know, I just wanted to diminish my competition wins. It's all about framing. And this is a lesson that we can learn from Kevin. If there's something we could take away is when your competition, memorize your days and frame the house down boots. It's a form of manipulation. It's communication at its finest. He goes out of his way and he keeps repeating the same messages. It's 4 versus 1. I'm by myself. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this one thing I did that was really bad. Let me turn it around and frame it and keep repeating to you that I did this because I know what was happening. I knew what was happening this entire time. No, mama, you know that was a bad move, but you're not going to sit here and say that was the worst move I did this season, blah, 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 because you know that that's going to reflect worse. I feel like if they would have asked him that question, he probably would have said something like, oh, letting Netta leave, maybe. But that was out of really his control. So no one's going to be like, oh, that was so bad.
They didn't even ask him good questions. That was so annoying. We'll get there, but I just feel like his questions were
that is what pissed me off.
Baby
questions. I'm like, at least ask him real questions. Like, y'all not even trying to hide it that y'all just want him to win.
Literally. Karen goes, and they love, mind you, they said they were disappointed by Kevin's 60-second message. They were like, oh, thought we would have got more from that. That wasn't shit. And then still eat his ass at the jury roundtable. But when Karen goes, they were very impressed. And I thought her 60-second was very impressive as well, because she makes it, she frames it kind of like you said, in a way as if she has all the control. And I think that's smart as well, because she's like, Demetres and Ika are here because of me. I had all the opportunity. I had all the agency. I let them take me to the end so that I can get here and kind of outbeat them. And she said winning the first HOH helped her get there. And I felt like all of that was perfect. Here's my issue with Karen, and we'll get back to it later. She just repeated this over and over again in her finale speech, in my opinion. I was like, well, girl, you already said that in a 60 seconds. Say something else quick. But they did kind of ask her more specifically about the stuff she said in the 60 seconds. So she had to respond to it. And I feel like with Kevin, they didn't ask him shit. So he had room to say other stuff.
I mean, the questions were, Netta literally asked him, were you loyal to me? What kind of question is that?
I'll get to
and it's no shade to my sister, but girl,
we're on season 5. You're this icon, and this is your jury question. Anyways, Ika goes, and this is. I love Ika, and I understood everything she was saying as a viewer perspective, because she's like, I'm logical. I'm playing this game strategically. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm adjusting. Y'all know this. Da 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 da. The issue is that she's speaking to the jury. And when you're speaking to the jury, you need to know who you're speaking to. And Ika does know who she's speaking to. So I don't know why she's not framing things in a way that they would appreciate. These are some bitter ass bitches. She says it every day in this house. She talks about it all the time, how they're bitter. You know they're bitter. They're bitter because they think she's playing an emotional game. She knows they think she's playing emotional. So instead of her like leaning into that, she's trying to go the opposite and say, I'm very logical and I'm very strategic. But I think what happens is every time they hear that, they're like rolling their eyes. They're like, girl, no, you're not. You're emotional, da, da, da. It's like, we see it often with players who get the bitter jury type of stuff. And honestly, Ika, depending on who she was sitting to, I was scared that could have happened. Because we saw it with like Paul. When Paul would get up there, they would be like, you did this, this, and this. Why? And he'd say, oh no, friendship. And it's like, bitch, absolutely the fuck not. You're evil. So it's like when they hear her claim she's not emotional, they're like, no, yes, the fuck you are. You're emotional. You literally won the best argument of the season and da 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 da. So unfortunately, I don't think she should say she's the most logical person in the house, even though she is. She should probably do something to make them feel comfortable and say, I played this emotionally and logically, and it helped me get to where I'm at. Or I use my emotions to guide my logic. Or just wrap it into a way to where you can still exploit your logicalness. Because if you say you're not emotional, it's going to piss them off, and they're going to be bitter. And I think that's what always happens.
I would love to see like a real raw interview with the jury members about how they actually view Ika's game, because I don't know how you could view it as anything but iconic. Like emotional, strategic, whatever the fuck it was, she was running this house. And if you're a legend like you claim to be, if you're a fan of this game like you claim to be, then she should get her 10s.
Clock it. Josie? She gone, honey.
Sorry. It's because someone was calling me on my phone, and it was showing up on my computer, and I didn't know how to stop it. And now music's playing in my ears. But I could say that. Sorry, I can't have any emotions on my face. I'm so sorry, y'all. About Ika's questioning. I think the issue that I have, aside from maybe some of the choice answers she made, is the game that is being played in the jury house, right? Like, if we're being real, she had Dre's best interest at heart. The best interest at heart. I'm sure when Dre got into that house, they were telling her, oh, Netta was talking, like, she was talking all this shit about you. This is what she said, which is what made Dre want to turn in the first place. I got no control of that, right? The narrative that is being spun in the jury house is literally the issue here is that she doesn't have that knowledge either, right? And I don't think Ika realizes. I think she realized it maybe after she watched the show, because someone ended up posting something on our Discord, I think, of like a screenshot of her watching Dre and a comment that was made. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't get the full extent of that, or how much Dre was willing to flip and all these things, right? So even when she's standing there, I'm like, is there really anything she could say? Like, hindsight is 2020. Like, could she have said, you know what, you guys, I was emotional, but at least I was also logical with it. You can't say that my decisions didn't align with each other one way or another. You deserve to give me respect because I am the reason you're sitting here. You are all incredible players, and there can only be one winner. She could have said all of that. I don't even know if they're going to be willing to hear it because of the game that was being played, and how people, apparently Bruno did not want Ika to win at all, which I think is very strange of Bruno, especially she's the reason why he didn't get put up on a certain HOH. Literally. Mind you, she actually had your best interest at her. So Bruno, like, he could take several seats. And it's a shame. Like, she could have definitely done better, but I also see her point. It's just, we know everything, right? We know what would have been the right answer. Yeah. But like, even then, we don't know 1,000% what's happening in jury too.
Exactly. Child. So she has one last campaign to Kevin, which I thought was a smart angle. And I honestly feel like he considers a lot of different things, and he's so damn dumb that I was like, shit, who knows? He might do it. Girl, try. She tries to push the whole idea of, you want to beat the best, you want to make it to the end with the formidable players, etc., yada, yada, yada. But it doesn't matter, because he still decides to, of course, evict the queen finally, after nominating her 3 times.
And he gives her a good speech. And I will say, he spoke the realest shit he said all season after that conversation. He said, she deserves it more than me. And it's like, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. I'll give him his 0.5s for that. You know who Mother is. He knows exactly who Mother is. And when he evicted her, he said, "You are the baddest bitch that ever played this game. You are an amazing player." Yes. Yes. You know who Mother is. I know you do. Yeah. So I'll give him his 5s for that. I will.
I really liked her plea though, because Kevin isn't really here for the money. Like, that man makes a lot of cash playing poker. He's known in that world. He twitches about it all the time, or I don't know if he still does, but he used to at the time. So he wasn't there for the money, right? And I like that she pleaded to her ego. I could give Ika 1,000 flowers about anything she does. She could just breathe, and I'm like, "Here, queen, like, here are your flowers." But I just thought it was so nice that she was being real with them, because her pleading to me just made the most sense for who Kevin is as a person, right? It's an ego thing. He wants to be the winner. He wants to be the best of the best. He wants to beat the best of the best. And let's be real, Ika has won less competitions than Karen.
Yeah.
Let's wake it up, right? And Ika is also she's been saying that this jury is bitter this entire time. If Karen had won, God willing, if that was the thing, or the final 3, she wouldn't have taken Kevin anyways. So it's not like Ika was that big of a switch. And so I liked the way that she argued, and I appreciated that she didn't stop fighting. Like, that is something that I like. I don't like people who just sit there and roll over and die. And yes, you could say, well, she kind of did that a little bit earlier on in the season, but she always got back up again. And this specific, you have so much time, and she still pleaded, and she still did it with honor and integrity. And that's why she remains Mother. She does.
Amen.
She went down fighting, and I really respect that as well. Like, that's how you have to play Big Brother. You throw out all the stops, and what I really appreciate about Ika in this season is that she played the hell out of this game. She truly did. I think that she was emotional at times. She was strategic at times. She had so many good things about her gameplay. Just, this is what you call a well-rounded player, a well-rounded personality. Just everything she was able to provide in this season. She gave you drama. She gave you strategy. She gave you emotion. She gave you vulnerability. Like, she gave you so much in one season that you could feel all of Ika. You could love all of her, and you could respect all of her as well. And that's what I really love about Ika, because she doesn't sugarcoat who she is as a person. Either you're gonna hate her or you're gonna love her. And I love that she was able to build this legacy in this season. Like, when she was evicted and Arissa told her, like, "You're considered one of the best to ever play." And I got chills, bitch. I got chills, because truly, like, she earned her legacy this season. Like, 100%. And it wasn't just off the basis of coming in with set alliances and things like that. She was one of the only veterans that actually played and got into the mud with the newbies, like, heavily. She played so many variables of this game. Like, it's so unfortunate that she got cut at 4, but her legacy remains in this season. Like, Kevin said it himself, she deserved it more than him. 100%. And that is a fact. This girl deserved to win this season.
Fact.
Unfortunately, competitions came in play. But if she had been in the final 2 and had lost, I don't give a fuck if she was next to Jesus Christ himself. And I said it. I should have won this damn season.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's the fuck right. We get to the final 3.
I'm going to hell. God, you know I'm joking, girl.
No, leave. Imagine what he said when he's not on the podcast. Like, woo. So we get to the final 3. Final 3 HOH, same as everything. The first HOH is a more physical one, balancing the little things. The second one is the question. The third one is the question. You get it. Demetres wins the physical one, of course. The second one, when it's Kevin versus Karen, baby, no shade, Karen. 40 some. How long did it take? It took her a long time.
It would have been so cunty if Karen turned into like a low-key cunt beast at the end and won one of these parts. Just really gag them. Gag them.
It's hard to tell because obviously I knew Kevin won, but when you're watching it, sometimes that makes it seem like Karen's getting the shit done. She's like, oh, and then I know this answer. Wait, I just need to switch this. And it's like, girl, she was out there for an hour.
Speaking of, I will say, let's go back to that Final Four veto.
Okay.
Why didn't they reveal all the time?
I was thinking the same thing.
Big Brother Canada, the producers, reveal the Final Four veto times, because What's that tea?
What's that
I
tea?
was waiting. I was like, oh, I wonder if Demetres got like this close.
Right.
We will never know.
No, Demetres timed out. It's Ika.
He did.
If anyone,
He did time out.
Demetres timed out.
That's
but
why
I
he
was
like,
curious
I know.
about Ika's time. I was really curious about Ika's time.
Yeah.
Either way, riggery.
So, of course, we get to the final HOH competition. They're both standing up there, and somebody in the Discord said, "Join the Discord, y'all. Link in the description." Someone in the Discord said, "Girl, why I get more answers right than Demetres?" Child, because Demetres got 4 in a row wrong. I was like, "Baby, are you not even thinking? You're nervous? Like, what's happening?"
I think, okay, I want to talk about this. I think he got really nervous, but one thing I will say is that after being to 2 Big Brother Canada finales and seeing those live things, like things get edited out. It's a show, right? But like, I'll talk about Ty and Claudia.
Oh, Claudia.
Right? Ty got the answer right the first time, one of the questions right. And I think someone said, "Can you repeat the question or something?" I can't remember. And then switched his answer, giving him a wrong answer and giving Claudia a point. And I remember freaking out. I was like, you just switched your answer. And he's not the only one. Like, I have seen that happen like a few times in the finale where someone hits their first question and then flips it around. And in the edit, you don't see it that way. Because I remember when I watched the show, I think I was at like a Toronto event. I think it was the RHAB Toronto event. I was watching it live with my friends from high school, and I was like, you guys, like, they edited that out, and I remember freaking out. So I think part of that you'll never know in an end product. But like, I think a moment like that could have happened, or you know, like you get one wrong and you're just so in your head afterwards. Like it's I just don't know. It's so hard because I've seen how they can edit it, not necessarily changing the truth, but you're editing it for time and consistency and stuff like that. Like, they're accurate, but who knows? Like, I think
we saw Morgan last season study so much, and her and Vince do all of this whole study group thing with the peanut, whatever the fuck they had. Anyways, she had so much knowledge about the game, and she got into the final 3 after winning other quiz competitions and then just flopping in that final 2 questionnaire. It's like, baby, what happens? But I really think it could be just nerves and the intensity and the pressure and so many different things. And we're at the end. So it could have been a lot of different things. But yeah, Kevin wins. I will say what I like about this version is that these questions I feel like are a lot more difficult than Big Brother US. A lot of times in Big Brother US, they're asking shit that I could remember and I wasn't even in the game. I think these are a little bit more specific, and I find it like actually a challenge. While as in Big Brother US, they're like, oh, who went home second place? Like, girl, I don't know. It'd just be too simple for me. So yes, we get to the final 2. Kevin and Karen are the final 2. Before they get questioned, we see the jury round the table. Tim is the host of the round table. Shout out to Tim. And they talk about the final 3. They talk about how Demetres had won the most HOHs in history. Like history, period. 5?
Yeah, he's the first person to win 5.
Period.
Mother.
Period.
And then, of course, they talk about Karen and Kevin. With Karen, they say how they didn't expect her to make it far. And obviously she's doing something right, but she just needs to tell us why. That's all they say. And then they have a long session about Kevin. It's
like, goddamn.
Yes. They're just talking about how impressive it is, how well-rounded it is. He played, he laid low in the beginning.
It's impressive that he played solo. And that he didn't win the comps at the beginning. How is that impressive that he played solo?
And that he didn't win comps until the end.
I really just, that's the thing, you guys. It's like, who is going to champion you? To me, it's kind of like the elections. Like, if we're going to be anecdotal, like they love to do it in Survivor, you have your main candidates in front of you. And yes, they will campaign to you. They will promise you things. They will tell you why they should get your vote. But the real work is done on the ground floor. And it just so happens that Bruno is Kevin's campaign manager. He is Olivia pooping all over this place.
Okay.
About this, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot recently, is when should you let your ally go to jury to advocate for you? Obviously, you want your allies to be with you as long as you can because it is a numbers game, but you need someone, you need your spokesperson, your representative to be there and jury and just advocate for you, and you need it to be someone strong. The issue here with Demetres, unfortunately, is that he does not have that spokesperson. You could say, well, Ika's the spokesperson, but Ika shows up at that round table, and a lot of the people who leave at 4 don't even get to be in the jury house. They're in a hotel, so they're sequestered by themselves. So even that pivotal timing that Ika could have before that round table is not allowed to her, right? Like, you almost want your final 4 person who leaves to be someone who is against you, so they can't go spoil anything or poison the jury against you. You know, Netta, she wants to advocate for Kevin because that's her ally, right? But she doesn't know the entire truth. There might be a little something in her back. But Bruno does such an excellent job at that. Bruno did not stop playing the game once he got evicted. He put that button that says vote for Kevin Martin, and he was itching around and doing this whole thing. And that's a big thing in the jury component that we don't talk enough about, is having someone advocate for you and be your spokesperson. Yes, your game should speak on its own, but no one is going to see the entirety of your game like someone who's been playing with you since day one.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, Ika, because in this moment, Ika's like, y'all are doing a lot on Kevin's game. I think the perception is getting skewed. I think he got lucky here, and then he won comps there. And she's spilling. I think what I wish, obviously I can pray and hope and try. I wish she would have also helped Dylan support Karen, because Dylan was the only one saying anything positive about Karen, because everyone was just like, well, we'll have to wait. And honestly, the truth is, Demetres and Kevin were never going to sit next to each other. Like, you think your man's taking Kevin, he's not. You think Kevin's taking your man, he's not. It was always going to be either Kevin versus Karen or Demetres versus Karen. And like Cindy said, Cindy's like, honestly, I'm supporting either Demetres or Kevin. Like, either way, one of them is winning. And I think that was a consensus for a lot of people. And a part of me wishes, like, Ika, you're right. Kevin's perception is skewed, and Karen should win. That's what the fuck we should have supported Dylan, no shade, because goddamn, like, he just really was getting overhyped by his friends. And it's like, hey, I always felt like, and it's no shade to my queen, similar to Rachel, I'll give it again. Part of me always felt like it sucked that she won, in the sense also that in the jury she had 3 automatic jury votes, because I'm like, baby, you literally know these people outside of the game. And a part of me is always like, how fair is that? And even in this situation, it's the same with Kevin. It's like, you know these people outside of the game. It's not a situation that happened within the confines of the strategy. It's, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Is that fair? And it's like, obviously it is. It's Big Brother. It happens all the time. I understand that, but it just feels weird, if that makes sense. Yeah. And this one, the vote was not close, but with Portia and Rachel, Portia only lost by 1 vote. And I think that is a more interesting conversation of having half newbies, half veterans, and how it could skew it. They could do that again in the future. And in the future, if it happens and the veteran wins just because they literally know half of the jury, a part of me is like, well, bitch, did you really eat that up? Or did you just know half of the jury? No shade. You feel me?
I mean, to your point about Ika and Karen, I think the only reason why she can't go and rally for Karen is also because of the fact that if Karen sits behind Demetres, and it's like, well, you said all those things about Karen, so why can't we vote for Demetres?
Yeah.
Like, you almost have to pick one person. I think what should have, and it's unfortunate for Karen, but again, having that spokesperson right now, Kevin and Demetres are the 2 big ticket items if we're going back to that anecdote about elections. And Karen is like that independent.
She's a third party,
person who you just like have heard of, and you're surprised that there's a little bit of support. And you're like, oh, how we get here, but you're here. And there's a reason why a lot of these third party candidates, whatever they may be, are here. There's a reason they have support. There's valid arguments, right? But if you don't have someone backing you to the people, the public, the jury, like, there's nothing you can do. And Ika has already sealed her loyalties to her campaign, you know? So it's like I can't really fault her. What I can fault is people not trying to be open-minded about everyone's gameplay. Granted, again, we don't know how long these jury tables are. I know in the US they talk about how long it is and how short it gets cut because people are going back and forth. So I don't know in Canada what that's like. I don't think I've ever heard a Canadian player talk about how long the jury roundtables are. I would be interested to see if there is something like that. So like I could be wrong, but from what we see, like no one's interested in backing Karen. Like I think if Dylan was, he probably got shut down because apparently they were telling him he shouldn't vote for Karen this entire time. Now if you go like, you know what I mean? So like I just feel like I'm frustrated that the jury wasn't more open-minded to her.
Yeah. I hated the editing for this. It was so that was it. Like everything we talked about, we essentially said every single word they said verbatim within the last 3 minutes. It felt like a 3-minute segment. I was like, hello? We don't give a fuck about the round.
They really suck with the jury roundtables in general. I would say Canada and US are really bad at that. Because they want to leave information up for the audience.
Yeah.
To like be ambiguous too, but it's really just annoying because I would love to actually hear their real thoughts about people's games.
Yeah, there are reasons behind it too, because I mean, us hearing them say this funny message when they're voting isn't shit. So it's like half of the time you don't understand their true reasoning behind it if you don't know. So
Cindy be trying to be cunty so bad. What'd she say? Jury management, especially in the goodbye speeches, goodbye messages. Like girl,
that's all you got. Just say Kevin, your friend, like please. Anyway, we get to the final two. We bring out all of the peasants and then Ika and Demetres on stage, and they get to their jury questioning. I think in Canada they're allowed to just make up their own question. I believe. Is that right?
I do think they're pre-made beforehand. I think it's just less obvious when, you know, Americans are like pulling out the question and they're reading it. I think from my understanding it is already pre-made, but I think they have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
Like I think they have more flexibility. I think they can genuinely go to producers and say, this is the question I want to ask, and maybe it gets tailored a little bit. Whereas like US, I feel like the same question gets asked every year. Like there's no surprise except for that person who's in third.
Yeah, exactly. So we get to the questions. Netta's question, dumb as fuck. Lee already said. She asked Kevin, did you have my back? Were you ever loyal to me? Duh. He said yes. It was a terrible question.
All you had to say was yes. Why are you asking yes or no questions?
Terrible question. And his answer, I mean, what else could he say? I personally would have tried to add a little something. He added a little something. He was like, I fought for your life. And when you left, my game shifted. I get it. But it's like, girl, all you asked was a yes or no question. Who gives a fuck? Next. Boom.
Like they were asking Karen like real questions to like really have her dissect her game. I just wish they did the same for Kevin.
Yeah. I think in true allyship, what they should have done, I feel like the best thing you can do for someone you're rooting for in the jury is to give them a question where they can explain their game.
I agree.
That will matter to everyone. I'm sorry, Netta, your game experience, you're the first jury member. And this is no shade. This is no shade to her. I'm just saying you're the first jury member. It didn't really impact like it did, you know? Like I think she wanted that question, but I think Bruno made it very clear. I think Cindy made it really clear.
Right.
Like she could have asked anyone. Yeah, Kevin.
Girl, we know this already. You're asking questions we already know or don't matter. No, it's all right. Cindy asked Karen, she's like, you were very paranoid throughout the game. And every week you always felt like you were the target. Did you really think you were the target? This was also like, were you really paranoid? Did you really think you were the target? It's like, I don't like this question because I just feel like, who cares? What if she was paranoid, if she wasn't paranoid, why does that change your vote? If she thought she was a target, if she didn't, why would that change your vote? None of these questions would change my vote. Were you fighting for me or not? Was Netta gonna not vote for him if he said no? No, she was still gonna vote for him. Same thing here. It's like at least ask a question that could cause a conversation with the vote. Who gives a fuck if she's paranoid? Am I tripping?
I think the issue was paranoia was not enjoyable for those who had to suffer it around her. But that doesn't take away from the actual game. And to be honest, I think Karen paranoia, would I implement it this way? No. But you are you have one life inherently, unless there's a twist. You have one life. you should not feel comfortable by any means. Everyone who feels comfortable in the game of Big Brother gets slapped in the face real hard with an eviction notice and they go home or they go to jury. I think it's okay to be paranoid. You're in a game where you don't know the truth the entire time. Like, it is not, and this is the thing, there's certain things that I think are so weird that are used in a negative connotation. Being emotional, being paranoid, like, it's normal. Like, you want to be here, right? And that paranoia gave her very good insights and reads and tells in the game. We've been saying it. Her reads are very correct, and that's because she is paranoid.
Yeah.
So
I felt like her answers, my issue with her answers were they didn't have any like passion. Like, you remember you said you could tell Kevin really cares about the game. I felt like Kevin's answers, he had passion, and then he would add a little something to it, even if it was a simple answer. She was like being she was like being poised and cutesy. I'm like, girl, get up there and say some shit. She was
like Kayla in Paris, girl.
Like, literally get up there and yell. So I felt like that was my only issues with the way she delivered her answers. And then they're asking her stuff where it's like, what else could she really say? But girl, add a little something, that was my only problem. Bruno asked Kevin, what was your biggest move? Of course, he's giving his man a layup. And this nigga says, using the final 5 veto to give myself a position to win the final 4 veto by making sure, making sure Dylan was out or something. He's implying that using the veto on Ika was helping him win the final 4 veto. I'm like, in what world? Because if I could say it on the block, Demetres would have went home, and you would have definitely won the final 4 veto.
Like, he really tried to turn this into a good move, which, to his credit, good for your framing.
Flip it around. Yeah.
I just feel like it didn't matter what he said. It did not matter what he said. He could have went up there and said anything, and they were voting him to win. That's what it feels like. Yeah. Because y'all are just taking slop as answers at this point.
Clock it. Wait, that slop as answers, okay. But I will say, Kevin here loses points for me. That is not his best gameplay of the
It wasn't even his best move.
And it was
his worst move, actually.
It was his worst move. And to me, it's like, is he using this time to try to pivot it and frame this as like, it's actually not that bad, it's actually not that bad. But I would have loved it if you would have just been real for a second, Kevin, and say that your best move was using William.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
He is the reason. And he was like, if me and Bruno would have stayed on the block, it could have been close, but I think I could have been. No, you were going home. You were going home. Like, you were going home. That was your best move. And that, to me, when you say that to me, it makes me feel like you actually don't know what's going on. Like, you don't actually know what actually helped you get here. Granted, William is obviously going to ask a question about himself, but even then, William gave him the answer.
He did.
Like, there are questions. That was a leading question. Say this so that you get the right answer, so that I can really excuse you for what you've done and I can give you my vote. William is the only reason why Kevin wins this game. He is very lucky that William got placed into this cast and that he was able to use William in the way he did. And so for him to say that is his best move, it really pissed me off.
Like, what? William just lacked awareness, honestly.
William better have got something after the season. Some money, some dick, something.
He ain't getting out a damn thing.
Gag is why he doing his winter interview and Peely is in the apartment.
Gag.
Come on.
Yeah.
Jackie says, Karen, in your little plea to the jury, you mentioned that you carried Ika and Demetres to the end. Karen,
I hated this answer. Karen, girl, you should have leaned into it. Yes, I carried Demetres to the end.
Can I drag Jackie?
Go ahead.
I'm going to drag her multiple times.
Get her.
To me, that question was an opportunity. She wanted to ask that question so that they can dunk on Ika and Demetres. Genuinely, I think that's the only reason why she asked that question. Not because she cared. Do you really think Jackie was going to vote for Karen? Like, let's be for real. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is a safe space where we can be real. She was never going to vote for Karen. And for us to think that she would have voted for Karen, and that's why she asked her question. No. Jackie is as petty comes. And she wanted to use that as a way to see, Ika, your game is not that great. Because even Karen is saying that. And that's why Karen had to, and I think Karen clocked it. That's why she said, let's take a few.
Right. Not my bitches.
And make me clarify what I said. And that, in my opinion, as an observer, as a studier of this game, as someone quite analytical, I think that's why she asked her question. And which is why when Jackie asked the question, I rolled my eyes and I was like, I don't really care what she has to say. So
I feel like they were setting.
Hates Jackie.
I feel like they were.
I would love to see Josiane pass Jackie in public just one good time.
Jackie would hate to see me coming. Genuinely.
I feel like they were playing in Karen's place. They kept asking her that she already explained. She already explained this in her 60-second. We saw it in the cut-up version that we got. She explained this. So it's like, why are you wasting her time? She honestly should have answered an entirely different question. Jackie should have said, Karen, you said you carried Ike and Demetres to the end. Explain more. And she should have said, well, I'll explain to you about my biggest move. My biggest move was making sure your ass went home. Something, because you're not asking her anything new. She already explained this. So when she answered, I was like, you're just repeating yourself at this point. You're not giving anything new. It was a bad question. The answer I don't think helped because they're forcing her to like answer this dumbass question. You know the answer. She already explained it. The fuck. William asked Kevin about himself. Maybe it might have you got there. Obviously.
I feel like restrict questions that are specifically about you. Kevin, I agree. If it wasn't for me using a secret veto, would you be here? The answer is obviously no. You just wanted him to tell you that for your ego. I don't know what you wanted.
You just wanted your little pussy, play with a little bit. Like what you wanted? Like you wanted to feel it in your heart. What did you want to feel? You wasting my motherfucking
time. Answer. Everyone knows the answer. Let's be for
every
real.
Single question they've known the answer. Damn, Dre, Karen, did you use your extra advantage? Duh. What do you think? Damn it. And she answered pretty well. She was like, obviously, I'm not going to have the strength in the competition, so I have to use my wit and my social game, so that's what the fuck I did. Duh. Like, I mean, what are we getting? Are y'all voting her or not? Quit playing in my bitch face.
The questions, they were like, Pharaoh, is your hair black? That was the question. Like, it was very like, Josiane, are you from Canada? Like, it was very how did that affect your game? Like what are you talking about?
I genuinely like, and that's my frustration. Like, you are a jury. You are crowning a winner. Yes, you think you have your mind made up because you have information, but the people in which you have that information on haven't been able to speak for themselves. Let's ask questions that we don't already know the answers to. Let's ask questions to make us think, to be more curious, to really feel 100% sure in our vote that you deserve to be the winner. And like, that's what's frustrating. Like, I liked the Q&As from the early seasons of Big Brother only because there was time where like you see Dan and Memphis speaking, and they're like, who else can I think of? Or Jun and Allison speaking, like these moments where people are sitting there and they have this free will of time and space to really say what they have to say. Obviously it gets edited down, but that allows space for actual flexibility in terms of maybe I can change my mind. Maybe I can get clarity. It's more of a discussion, and that's something I enjoy. Granted, the format of Big Brother Canada and the way it's done now, I think it's better than US 100%. And I get it. You want something a lot like exciting and fun and great for the live final, but people just seem so made up and just not open. Like, if I ever played this game, I would never be in jury because I would win. But if I did, unfortunately, end up in jury, I would actually have my mind open to hearing what people say. I would like to be proven wrong, and I would hope that my question would allow space to be proven wrong.
Exactly.
I agree. I truly feel like if I was a juror, I would not make my decision until I hear both decisions. I'm not going to go into the finale decided. I think way too many people do that, and it does make them lose sight on who to actually vote. Didn't Haley from BB20 change her vote last minute when she heard the speech? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, I do not think I would have my mind made up, because sometimes those speeches are really good, or they answer really well and explain their games really well. I would say sometimes it is just obvious. I feel like for this one, they thought it was obvious. We don't care what Karen has to say, but it truly wasn't if you really pay attention to what's been happening throughout this season.
Yeah. And I think one thing Karen could have did, well, I mean, she couldn't have done anything. They were clearly decided. Even if she answered these phenomenally, I don't think it was going to change. But Dylan gives her like a great question kind of layup, because she asked, what specific move did you make? And I feel like this was her chance to bring something else up rather than the stuff they continuously ask her about. But she just brought up Ika and Demetres again. And I'm like, well, girl, you had a specific question about Ika and Demetres, and you had a 60-second whatever to explain that. They already know that. This was her chance to easily say, my biggest move in the game was playing the opposite to Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin was alone and solo in this game, and this is a social strategic game where you need people to get you through the game. Towards the end of the game, Dylan, I had you. I had Dre and William supporting me on my side. I even got Kevin to start supporting me over the other people in the game after hating him the whole season. Alongside Ike and Demetres, like I already said, by the top 7, every single person wanted me in the final 2. I deserve to win this game because I was always going to be in these final 2 seats. As soon as Kevin lost the competition, he was gone. And you can't say that for me. Do you want a winner who was going to lose as soon as they lost the competition, or do you want a winner who was going to sit in these final 2 seats regardless of what happened? Period. Like, girl, get it down. Like, eat them down. Make them feel a little dumb for not voting you, even if that's the case. Because after that, I would have been like, ooh, am I still voting Kevin? Like, make them think, baby. I don't know. But we know. What did Ika ask? Oh. She said, you claim to be this big mastermind, Kevin. What is your biggest move in that case? He had to clarify, I didn't claim to be a mastermind. I didn't claim that. But me making a fake final 2 with Dylan was my biggest move. This is my problem. Every single answer is wrong.
Because he threw the final 5 veto.
Wrong! You're still wrong? He doesn't know what the fuck was. He didn't know what that means to me. He thought that worked. He thought when he talked to Dylan and made a final 2, Dylan left and was like, that's my final 2. This is the winner? Is this Killer Kevin?
Mm-mm. Killer Kevin is crazy. Okay. My thing is that while Karen can't speak eloquently enough to her game, because to your point, like everything you said, like that is exactly what she should have said. She could have also added like my positioning. I was deciding the votes week after week. If I did not want you to go, you were not going, and vice versa. Like she had things she was eloquent. Whereas Kevin, I just feel like it's again this framing, this idea of like I need to leverage things in my favor and kind of justify the things that I did. Like everything he took time to focus on were actual moves that were bad for his game or were unnecessary, right? Like we're seeing him defend his veto use. We think that was one of the worst moves he could have done. And then him putting up Dylan, which is in relation to that move, right? He just said to Dylan, I'm going to have a final 2 with you. I'm going to have a final 2 with you. And he put him up. It's bad gameplay. What we saw that week was bad gameplay. And what he spends his time doing in this section is he's justifying those bad moves. Because if we think about the amount of time Kevin has had to justify his game, he gets a 1 minute beforehand. We don't think it was that great, to be honest. Then he gets to justify his bad moves. And then we know at the end, they're still going to get their final plea. So he's not going to spend his final plea time justifying his bad moves. He's going to focus on the positives. And he's using this time for questions as damage control. Because to be honest, those answers aren't correct at all.
Literally.
It sounded like he really just knows how to play the system.
He just knows how to talk around
work that motherfucking system. And for that, I have to give him something because it got
you know what's crazy? That's a poker method. What does he play? Poker? That's a poker method, working the like thinking outside of the game to like, you know, the counting cards of it all of that. That is like existential from the game. You have to think outside of the game to game the game rather than play the actual, you know, confines, which also can be impressive. I think with Big Brother, it's way less impressive considering how long it is and how we see everything you do and we see all your little mistakes within. It's not as impressive as a quick little counted those cards, ate that up, move forward. So I think he's playing like a poker player in that kind of way. You feel me? Demetres asked, "Why should I give you the money when you started playing day?" Blah blah blah. Blah. I didn't like.
And can we talk? He taught me.
He did him up, but I just didn't like it. It wasn't a real question. That's my problem.
He had me jumping in my seat. I'm gonna be so for real. I don't care if you get the 3rd place. I don't need you to ask a question. You were there for every single day of the game, and you have every right to be bitter. You have everyone to be in your feelings. I don't care. He asked me, and I was jumping. I have I'm staying right now with my family, and I have my youngest cousin. She like watches me watch Big Brother, and she's become a fan because of it, I think, as well. And she only saw that part of the conversation in Kevin's answer, and she was like, that wasn't a good answer.
Wasn't.
She's young. She's born in 2018. So like she's young, and she
that wasn't a good answer.
She said that wasn't a good answer, and I said, Exactly. I was like,
not a good
I
answer.
dapped her up. I said, exactly. And that's what you eat every single time. And I was like, even she who has no preconceived notions or anything about the game can clock that that's not a good answer. So I was living for the entire thing. She made it better for me because I was like, exactly.
Exactly. They give their final speeches. Karen's was boring. They both were boring to me. No
It was a
shade.
very unimpressive final speech. Speech, jury questions, jury answers.
Yeah.
All of it was. This was not a good end to a great season. I did not feel like this end lived up to how good this season was.
Very weak. And then we get, of course, the votes are read, and Kevin wins the season unanimously, meaning he has played a perfect game by technotronics, by technicalities. He is officially one of the people who played a perfect game. I think he was the second to ever do it after Dan Giesling. At this point, there's only been 4 people who've done it, something like that, and he's one of them. And this is where we have to discuss that conversation. The perfect game of it all, I think what it is humans like definite things. And things that are definite, like numbers, help people rationalize things easier. It creates better arguments, deeper arguments. And so far, the perfect game argument is a good way to prove that someone has played a good game. I used it with Chelsea Bayham when people were trying to discredit her. I'm like, well, she played a perfect game, just like Dan Giesling. The numbers are there. It's easy proof because the numbers are there. But it's kind of like the BMI. The BMI was created for the exact same reason. There's numbers. It's a definite thing. You can prove it. BMI, baby, it's not real. The scientists have deemed it incorrect. You could be a super muscular person, super healthy, and your BMI could say that you're obesely overweight because it's not a definite thing. And that's exactly what Kevin just proved to me. That, baby, you playing a perfect game does not mean you're a good player necessarily at all. I think it's kind of like a square and a rectangle. If you're a good player, this can be evidence of your good gameplay. But everyone who plays a perfect game is not automatically a good player because Kevin Martin has done
it. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have many positive things to say. At the end of the day, if someone gets to the end and win it, it's theirs. You know what I mean? To some extent, they did earn it. And honestly, with Josiane breaking down a little bit more of how he frames things and things like that, I am a little bit more impressed by that, just because he clearly does have an understanding of how the game works and how people work, which is why he knew to frame his game in the way he does. But I'm not impressed. I don't feel like he is necessarily a good representation for the season. However, he was sitting next to Karen. And I can't say if I was in that situation now, I would have voted for Karen. Honestly, if outside looking in, inside looking out, who knows what I would have done? Because Karen is someone, like I said, you really can't perceive Karen as a winner because of what we have as our perception of other winners. So it would be hard to put her in that space, especially with her also not giving a good final jury speech and things like that. So at the end of the day, he is the winner, and him having the perfect game is part of his legacy. It's just, I will never talk about this season as if Kevin is this legendary all-time winner. In fact, he would be in the low tier for me as far as winners go. I mean, we've done Big Brother 2 through 6 on our BB Rewind, and every last one of those winners are better than him.
Of course.
I would say Xavier's better.
Of course.
Taylor.
Of course.
I would even say Jag is better.
I would as well.
I don't think Kevin wins. I don't think Kevin has played the perfect game. Like, even if your definition of it, like, no, like, this is not me being like a hater or anything, right? But here are the elements in which I believe, and I pulled out the wiki definition of it, or like the Big Brother Phantom one. So it's a house guest never has an eviction vote casted against them. That's true for Kevin. Announced the winner, wins the game unanimously, and then some added stipulation that enhances a perfect game but is not specific needed to achieve one. This, to me, is actually what makes a perfect game. And it's saying it's not necessarily included in it, but I think everything that aligns explains a perfect game. So they've never faced eviction as a final nominee due to coming off the block with a veto or another twist. Like, Kevin is lucky. William uses a veto on him. He uses the veto to take himself on the block a few times.
I agree.
The house guest was never nominated at all. Kevin was nominated multiple times, but he wins the competitions he needs to win. Now, granted, that's good gameplay, like you're using the competitions to win. But to me, like if you never touch the block, that to me perfect gameplay, right? But that's like the definition. But that's why I think this definition is also subjective. And then you think about the house guest has always voted in the majority for evictions. He did not. The first week he voted in the minority.
Yeah.
So like this perfect game thing to me is the idea that you win the game with unanimous votes. No, you just did the right thing to ensure that you were going to win regardless. That's not perfect game.
Yeah.
And that's me going against the grain a little bit here because that's not the definition. But inherently to me, it's you voted in the majority every single time. You
were never nominated.
You were in the power allotment. You were never nominated. Like those to me make a good winner. Like if Kevin did not win a competition, he would go home. That's why the best players to me are those who don't need to rely on the competitions and know that if they even sit on the block that they'll be fine because they're working the social game. Big Brother is a social game. And that's why I just can't really give Kevin even his 10s for that unanimous jury because had he sat beside Demetres, would it have been unanimous? No. If he was sitting beside Ika, would he have even won? Who knows? Like to me, like you just picked the right person because and you had the right jury members, but you didn't place them there. It's because the big dogs in the actual house, Demetres and Ika, put them there for you. So it just benefited you.
I agree. Also, he's benefiting from once again knowing half of the jury. You know, Dan Giesling played a perfect game with strangers. Chelsea played a perfect game, quotations, with strangers. Who else got it? Kevin Jake? No, I forgot who else got it.
No, Kevin is the only Big Brother Canada winner to win with unanimous jury.
Okay. Ooh, yikes. But like he knew half of the jury, and it's like it's also less. It's just less impressive. Oh, Cody was the one who did it. Cody Calafiore. It's just less impressive when you know the people in the jury. I think it was less impressive for Cody as well. You know those people. Like some of those people literally met your family outside of the game. It's like it's easier. Objectively, it's easier to get jury votes from people who you know outside of the game than from people who you don't know, like Chelsea and Dan, which is why I would say Chelsea and Dan's are also more impressive for that, alongside the reasons you said, Josiane. I just think it's just a term to use based on numbers, and I don't think numbers define anything. I just think it can help you argue your case here or there or everywhere. But otherwise, Kevin sucks.
Yeah. Let's end this out on some positivity because Zudaman did give us a really good idea that I want to do right now.
Oh.
Celebrate the love of Ika and Demetres.
I literally wake up every morning and I look at you and I feel so lucky. You know that we were meant to be together. The stars had to align so perfectly for us to meet here.
Yeah.
So I could watch you walk down these stairs and fall in love with you.
Oh my God.
We've always made such a good team.
That hair is laid.
My ride or die since the day I met you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Oh my God.
So Ika, will you marry me?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, I'll marry you. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Do you want to wear it?
Yes, babe. Yes. I'm like shaking. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Babe, the ring is actually stunning. Oh my God. Oh my God.
These are my parents.
It'll be okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's literally my mama and my dad.
Literally,
I'm
my
gonna
parents.
cry. I love him so much. I'm gonna actually cry because, like, actually, like, if you think about it, showman's wise, I think Demetres was like the first actual for I think Black women specifically to see that they could be vulnerable, they could be emotional, and someone will actually be by their side. And like, I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And like I already loved Ika. I'm not gonna cry, I promise. I'm trying not to. But it just felt so nice to see a Black woman just be loved authentically for truly who she is. And Ika is not perfect by no means, but you could see that he accepts her, like even in that house. So it's just honestly like it was really beautiful to see. And like since then I've been rocking for them since their first day at McDonald's, which was crazy. Demetres, you should have known better. But like I'm so glad that they were like happy and in love and married and doing the trips and all the things. Like they deserve so much. Thank you for showing that. That just made me really happy again.
Yes.
Shout out to Zuda Man for the idea because I literally didn't know that this video was out there. This is my first time watching it when Zuda Man.
Oh,
really?
Yes. I had never seen that.
I think it was
I had
before.
never seen that.
It was on BB Can 10.
BB Can 10. I remember watching it. I was like,
I remember they showed it there, and then I was trying to pull up that episode, but on the YouTube video they have the full thing. Like on the episode they have like the faces popping up that kind of interrupt it. So seeing the full thing, I was like, oh my god.
Yes. It's so beautiful.
I love them dearly.
This to y'all. Guys, we are going to rate all of these players, baby.
Oh, let me get my Jackie lashings in for one last
we
time.
are going to rate all of the players for the one time. I know y'all were asking for it. We decided to just give them this overall at the end. Notice I didn't give Kevin any gold because he didn't deserve it. I'm just going to keep them all blue, baby. Let's get into this motherfucking rating.
You're so petty. You're so petty.
Didn't deserve. Now, Mark went home first. We can rate from 0 to 10. You can give some 0.5s, etc., etc., etc. Josiane, any thoughts on Mark?
0. He did a whole lot for nothing. For nothing. And thank God he was the first man evicted. You made your mark somehow, but even at that, it was very minimal. 0. A whole lot.
Josiane is crazy. Lee.
It was the first week. It's hard to rate people who went home first. It really is. But seeing how he played that first week and how the season turned out, I don't think he would have necessarily been that long for the game. I'll just give him a 2.
Lee with the 2, Josiane with the 0. I'm gonna give him the 3. I agree with the chat. The only reason is because he got all them votes to stay. I was like, where the fuck did that come from? And it's because he was hunching on Cindy. He was doing this right. He was doing what he needed to do. He was hunching on Cindy. He was making friends with the boys, Kevin and Bruno. They were like, we should save him. I think he did 3 worthy.
He is it's not because of him. It is because this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pretty privilege in the Big Brother hanging in the house. He did nothing. He was a straight white man. I like cocky. Do you know the season? Well, hey, bud, I think the Sens are gonna do pretty well this. Like he did nothing. That was all the vets. Like he gets a 0. Like he has. Please. It's not because of him, y'all.
I do agree that it's not because of him, but every time we rank, I'm like, I consider the fact that privilege helps these people because if he were to play again, I think it could help him again. Well, it didn't even help him here. Sagag, we move. Dallas. Lee.
My man.
Oh,
who man?
My man.
My man, not your man.
Josiane, keep it cute. Give it cute.
Who's gonna give him the higher rating? Go.
10.
Oh, please.
Oh, I'm real. I'm
right.
real.
Let's not lie.
No, honestly, I'm gonna have to give him. I gotta give him the 2 as well. Honestly, he came into this game with a set alliance, and instead of like working with that or at least trying to play up that he was with them, he went off by himself. He started grouping with these newbies, and then he switched on them just to try to get back in with the vets. That didn't work. Sloppy, child. Sloppy.
I agree with Sloppy. I'm gonna give him the 3. I think it's the same as Mark. No, Sloppy. He was all over the place. Everything you said. I just didn't like the way he dropped his pre-made alliance. Like he came in with a whole group of people. Like, you stop talking to us. Like, what are you doing? And he did it for Emily and Dylan. Like, I just thought that makes no sense as a veteran. I have to give him the 3. I can't give him any higher than that. That's no shade. Josiane, your man.
I'm gonna give him.
Not this voice.
I'm gonna give him a 2.
Okay.
I was debating between 2 and 3, but I hear you guys loud and clear. I am gonna give him 1 point because I like the way he wears a backwards hat. Dallas hit me up anytime. And then I gave him that second point because at least he fought for his life. He fought with Dylan. I was entertained, and I like 2 white men going against each other. Sue me. 2.
Amen. Amen. We have Cassandra. This is what I say about Cassandra. This is my this is truly my first time truly watching Cassandra. When I watched BB Can 4, I only watched like 4 weeks and I didn't really care about any of the strategy. So I wasn't really like locked in that way. This is like my first time seeing her. And honestly, it's going to sound like a crazy word to say. I'm impressed. That's a crazy word to say. Crazy word.
Damn.
But I like that she truly plays this game. Like every single minute she was in that house, she was playing that game, and she did have advances here and there, like pushing Mark out of the game so that Demetres could stay, and that helped her. Well, for the 1 week she was able to stay, her getting people on her side, like Gary, like Dallas, like at moments Ika and Demetres, like at moments Karen. It's like she just has this energy to her that I really do appreciate as a player. This season she did not play well. She went home early because she was doing the fuck most. I don't know where the fuck she thought she was, but she was acting the fool. And I think she went home because of her own self and the things she did to ruin her game. So I can't reward her, but I do just I like her as a player and I like the way she played. It just wasn't good. I have to give her the 3.5. I do. Josiane.
Cassandra, she was a mess.
She was a mess.
Her like gunning for Bruno was a bit crazy, a bit wild. I think the thing is, I don't know how much credit I can give Cassandra necessarily. I mean, she does push for Demetres to stay, which is good, but like Demetres doesn't pay that dividends.
Yeah.
I think she is good for people's games, but not because of what she's done, but the realities of the way the house is set up. And so it's difficult to give her a rating. In all honesty, I think she thought she was closer with Netta than she was, and that's why she put her up. Like it's just I can't. I think I have to give her like a 2.5, to be honest.
Real. Lee.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I just feel like she came in way too fast and loose. She was
fast
like
and loose.
once again with Dallas.
Crazy.
It was. I'm sorry. Like same with Dallas, she came in. There was a set alliance, and she really, instead of playing within it and at least pretending like someone like Ika did, she was blatantly against them, was throwing them under the bus. It was just too much, and she never had a set group that was going to stand beside her. It's mainly the 3, not a 2, because I feel like I do respect her as a player more than I do Dallas overall. Like I do think on average she's just a smarter and probably a better player, but she really showed her ass this season. She did. So
yeah. Whew. Next we have, it's a slow start. Next we have Gary. Josiane, how you feel about Gary?
Alien superstar. Gary, I love you the house down, but this season it's a bit rough. I think you focusing your energy on Kevin Martin, who doesn't really care for anyone but himself, was a really big waste of time. Your campaigning to Bruno was not the way to approach Bruno. In all honesty, you're right. The people you thought you needed were the people you needed. However, I just feel like Gary did not present himself as someone who was worth putting that effort and that investment into. And it's just sad. I think it's just a victim of circumstances and unfortunately a yellow dress. You know, you came into the house with that on, and I guess she didn't forget. It's hard. Like, that's an outside game related reason, but it's enough, right? Like that should have been damage control immediately. Like it's rough. I'm gonna have to give like a 2.5.
Yeah. Lee.
I think I'm gonna go with the 3 overall with Gary as well. I agree with what you said, Josiane, and also it's just the simple fact that I didn't like how he approached this season. It does feel like since his first season, he didn't pick up anything additional on how to play the game, at least strategically. It feels socially, I think he was doing all right, but he didn't really have a method to his madness. He seemed like he was kind of going around starting little fires and just walking away from him instead of like actively trying to build relationships and build groups around him. You know, he had that with Ika, but there wasn't really much past that. It was a lot of little individual connections that he was hoping to get him along, and that just didn't work. So my king, my goat, I love you so much. But
yeah, I'm gonna give them the 3.5. I will say with Gary, like Cassandra in Dallas, it's like, as veterans, why are you coming in this game playing so willy-nilly, not having a structured alliance? Stuff like that threw me off. But I will always remember that the only reason he went home was due to like the backwards week situation. And following backwards week, we see how the game went. Emily, Netta, Cindy, Bruno. He truly, I do think, if he isn't in this season with this specific twist, would have survived that round. Demetres would not have put him up if he was that HOH. And I do think he could have made it literally all the way through jury. Not necessarily thinking that he's playing this phenomenal game, but I do think he could have made it a lot farther in just one different circumstance. So I had hope. I like him, but it's the 3.5. And that's no shade. Emily, Lee, thoughts?
who? Let me stop.
Right.
No, I do like that when she was nominated, she really went to work for herself. She showed a real prowess for the game. She created a relationship with Dylan, which is really good for her. She kind of had a slight thing with Jackie. She got in really good with Netta, Bruno, Kevin, which was working for her, even though they were slightly using her. It still helped her in those early weeks of the game. It really took another side of the house winning for her game to crumble the way it did, you know? And that's really unfortunate, but it's the fact that you got taken out by a newbie is my issue with her. A lot of people in this season, there were relationships that they would have, but they wouldn't extend it across the board. Like I think Ika, which is why she was so successful this season, she had relationships with every faction of this house, and a lot of people only stayed within their group. And even the week that she went home, she tried to break out of that, but I believe it was just too little too late. The thing is, I don't think she's a bad player. I just think she was filled with a bunch of newbies. She was built with a bunch of vets, and she was learning on how to play the game. But I do feel like Emily is someone, if she played a full newbie season, could have fared better. I think I'm gonna give it a 3 as well, honestly.
Yeah, I actually agree with everything you said. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Damn, you feeling real generous today, mama.
0.5. Y'all are dramatic. Please. I do feel like the same though. Like she genuinely did do things that were, I feel like, right for a newbie. Like she was trying to make allies, she was trying to do stuff. She just isn't great. She isn't great at all. And she is playing the game with veterans, so she probably seems even worse than what she is. She's just not great. She did create groupings and alliances, but she shut herself out from half of the house for no fucking reason, like you said. She had negative things. She sat there with Dylan as this house target, which I think was stupid. She didn't really pivot. She was latching on to Netta, and at that time, the house was kind of getting against her. I just think she latched on to people who didn't care about her, and she ended up going home because of it, like Karen, like Kevin, like Bruno. So it's like, although she was doing things that were fun and cute, she just wasn't playing optimally, so I can't give her any higher than a 3.5. Josie?
I kind of want to give Emily a little bit more grace, right? She attaches herself to Dylan and Dallas week 1/week 2. Dallas flips pretty much on her and Dylan, right? And what does she do? She adopts. And Netta to kind of like set the trap, like, I'm going to take you in. I have you. Because the following week, Cassandra's week, Netta wins HOH, and she does such a good job at making Emily feel special. And so she creates this trust with Netta, and I almost can't fault her for what she does. In one way or another, you have to pick a side, right?
Mm-hmm.
What she did, though, is that she was a little too loud about who she wanted to go after, which was Ika, and rightfully so. She should want to go after Ika, right? Like Ika is the best player of the season. We can't discredit that, but she says it a little bit too much. The wrong side gets power, and it's perfect for her. She can now, like, they can just use that as an excuse to go after her. Mm-hmm. And even when she is put up on the block with Dylan, or Dylan is on the block with Dallas, she has the bright idea of, let's pretend like it was all planned to discredit Dallas. Like, Emily does smart things. I just think that her allies like abandon her, and you can't really plan for that. So I want to give her grace because inherently she had the Black and Saints alliance. It made total sense for her. It wasn't really talked about, but like it just made sense. And then they sold her to a river, and even then she went to the newbies. Like she was, aside from Dre, I feel like she was the only other newbie that was actually trying to see the game for what it was, which is, hey, yeah, we're playing with vets, but in order for us to win, we need to get rid of them. They're just lucky that the vets this season were just also going after each other for a strange reason when that's not how the formula should work. So I want to give her grace. I want to give her 2.75. Can I do that?
You better round it up to a 3.
Oh, right. A 3 it is.
Yeah. Come on, Grace.
At 2.75.
Come on, Grace. Come on, Grace. Next we have Neda.
Can I just say, Ika spilled. Girl, you went home way too early to be this opinionated. Because look how
girl, no shame. Look at all them bitches who was in the house. I mean, the people who was in the house before you. Neda, ooh.
Girl.
I started having a fucking aneurysm. I do think that is a good player. Obviously, I think she was still a good player in this season. She made an alliance. She had side alliances. She did all of the correct things on paper as to do in the Big Brother house. The only thing she didn't do is manage her threat level. Girl, you were literally safe. You did not have to be that big of a threat, and that obviously caused her downfall. I always say this, but if you're getting taken out by the baddest bitch in this house, and that's the only person who can take you out of the game, I give you a little bit of grace because honestly, I don't think Cindy should have took her out. I don't think if Ika didn't have such a hand in putting seeds in Cindy's ear and pushing her, that Neda would have went home, because I think other than the blind spot of Ika, Neda was doing good with Bruno, with Kevin. She was doing okay with Cindy, but she was fucking that up. Dylan, Emily, like she genuinely had a coalition. The whole game felt like it was a big ass group of Neda's people versus everyone else. And that's for a reason. She genuinely has a prowess that I think should still be rewarded as a player. I don't like that her game went the way it did. And I feel like it was all because of her lack of awareness. And that does bring me down a lot of notches, but I'm still going to give her a cute little score. I just feel like she has this impact that I can't deny. It's hard for me to give her anything higher than this. So I'm going to just do a 5.5. I think she definitely still is playing at a level that is above average, even in this season. But I'm scared to do anything higher than that. Josiane?
It's hard because Neda is safe for the entire half of the game, and the moment she's not safe is when she goes home. So it's really hard for me to rate Neda because it was the biggest safety net, right? Like you can't get more safety than that.
Yeah.
And I feel like she just squandered it. Like she didn't have to do that. I think her biggest enemy wasn't Ika, it was herself. I think she got so in her head about, well, now I'm safe. I have to overcompensate, or maybe I have to make sure that Canada is proud because they gifted this to me. I didn't win it in a competition. They gifted this to me. And that's what makes it so hard, because if she would have just sat down and ate her food and focused on just connecting with everyone and not feel the need to win the competitions, she won like way too many competitions for where she was at. Like I just feel like it was so unnecessary. Like, is she strategic? Absolutely. Do I think her going after the vets made sense? No. She was in the best position. She had Bruno and Kevin shielding her, Cindy shielding her. Yes, you have beef with Gary, you have beef with Cassandra, but it can be squashed so that you can get rid of these newbies. Like, you didn't really care for them anyways. Like, they didn't actually mean anything to you. So why go after them? Like, I think it was a bit of ego. I think it was a little bit of self-doubt. I think those things are hard to rank in comparison to them. So rating that, it's hard because, like, I think her strategy was all wrong. Like, she had good strategy, but it was all wrong. So I think I'm just gonna give her, like, I can't give her lower than the rest of them, but like I can't give her a big jump either. I think I have to give her a 3.5.
Real. Lee?
I mean, it's hard. I'm unsure. I'm really unsure because I respect Netta, and I think in the beginning of this game, regardless of her safety net or not, I feel like how the HOHs turned out, she would have been safe regardless because of the amount of control and power that she held at that time in the game. And I do think that's very impressive to do so while not necessarily having to. She was still at the top of this game. People like Cindy, Bruno, and Kevin credited her leaving as the worst moment in their game. You know what I mean? So like she meant so much to people's game. And if Cindy had not done what she did, I truly feel like Netta could have made it further than what she did because of the relationships and the alliances that she struck up for herself. So that's where it's hard for me because I'm like, I feel like her going home was because someone made a dumb move. Her own ally made a dumb move. And I'm just like, what would have happened if Cindy never took her out? Would she be gone the next week? Could she have won a competition? Could she, you know what I mean? I just wish I could have seen more. So a part of me wants to say like 6. I want to say a 6 for the positive things we saw in her gameplay. Because there was a lot of game prowess that she's shown even in this season that the average Big Brother player cannot do.
Yeah.
And that is what I think I highly respect. However, there were mistakes. There were a lot of mistakes.
I see we're being frugal tonight. Yo, she's the reason. The domino effect. Like she did it herself. Like
she did.
She did. She
controlled.
I'm just thinking. The only reason why we have to rate her at this spot is because of something that a dumb player did. No shade to Cindy.
But why did Cindy? Had Netta worked on Cindy, who's supposed to be one of her top allies, she wouldn't have done that. Like, there's domino effects. Like, Nature Witch doesn't just put you up unless it's week 1. Like, and even then, there's a butterfly effect. There's a domino effect. Like, I feel like Netta did this to herself. There's no reason you get 5 weeks of safety and immediately you go out. What did you not do? Which was connect with people, minimize your target level to get out. You were only safe for like an hour.
I agree. I feel like I agree with that. I also feel like it's kind of like there's that negative, but I do think being basically the sole reason Dallas, Cassandra, and Gary went home 3 in a row is so impressive to me that I'm like, to me, it balances her out at a 5. Because I feel like what you're saying is like a 2, but like the control she had at being the reason they went home. Because from my memory, Kevin and Bruno didn't even help with that. And Cindy didn't help with that either. It was solely Netta creating this target on Dallas, Cassandra, and Gary. So in my mind, I'm like, she ran 3 HOHs in a row. But also, everything you said is still true, which is why she's a difficult.
That's why it's hard. I'm like,
the
way I'm looking at it, I'm just like, she deserves more credit for the time that she was at the top of this game. And even though you're saying that she should have managed Cindy better, I still feel like it's also on Cindy to know that you shouldn't be taking out someone that is protecting you so heavily. That's a shield for, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was worse for Cindy than it was for Netta, even though Netta got evicted.
But she didn't need to be responsible for. She didn't need to be responsible for Dallas, Gary, and Cassandra's. That's the thing. Managing your threat level. Like, yeah, was it great for her? To be honest, like Cassandra wasn't going after Netta. She was going after Bruno. And yes, that's her ally. But Cassandra hasn't won a competition. You just watched her season. Like, it's hard for me to justify, but we can move on.
Yeah. Lee, we need an answer. You can and you will.
6.
I feel like 6. No, you didn't talk me down from the 6, Josiane. You didn't talk me down from the 6.
Thank
God. And this is mainly because of where I'm thinking other people are going to be in the season. I have to give her the 5 at least, because there are people who are going to be lower than her. And even with the negative things she did, I just. Like, when I'm thinking about this ranking, I'm thinking about how this person could play a different season or how they are as an overall player. And I feel like Netta, as an overall player, taking out this isolated thing of a season, she's better than 90% of the people here.
Okay.
Cindy, Josiane, thoughts?
I already know my score. I'm giving her 6. And This is where we might not agree. This is where we might not agree. But
the hell up on what?
But Cindy is the glue of that alliance of 6. She tried to get them together. Yeah, you can disagree with me all you want because I have a method to my madness, and my madness will make sense when I rank Bruno, Jackie, William, and Dre. You will see the method to the madness. You will see the method to the madness. I just do not think that Cindy, if Dylan doesn't win the following HOH, I think Cindy is fine. I genuinely think Cindy is fine. She only is in a bad position because her allies, Bruno and Kevin, who are horrible allies, by the way, they'll get their lashings through the competition to Dylan after Netta just gone home. You just said that's your best ally. How you guys are going to throw competition to a newbie? That is freak-like. That's freak-like. That was so strange. Like, I genuinely believe that Cindy isn't in the worst position. She was in the best position. She was in the middle. You know, she was getting the newbies to like her. She was getting the vets to like her. If Ika had to pick someone that she liked the best out of that side of the 6, she would have picked Cindy. Like, she actually wasn't that bad in a position. And so I just have to give her above average because this cast sucks. So if average is 5, then I have to give her, you know what? I'll change. I'll give her a 5.5.
Okay. Lee, you had a loud reaction. How are you feeling?
It's okay.
She gagged alive. The thing about Cindy is that, I mean, we just hold a different opinion with that Nether thing. I truly feel like even if she didn't go home the next week, she would have eventually went home because she was just expendable after Nether left. She had no shield in front of her, and the alliance that they built was crumbling. The relationship that they had was crumbling. She only would have had Kevin and Bruno, and they were not necessarily the best allies for her either, you know? So I feel like she was running out of places to turn once she got to the jury phase, and taking out Netta did not help her at all. And then when you have preseason, I think pre-jury, she was doing well as far as connections and things goes. But my main issue with Cindy was that she was never anyone's like main priority, which is why I feel like even after the Netta move, she would have been eventually taken out in some, you know, way that was similar to this one, where it's like no one really is batting an eye that Cindy's leaving the house, you know? So I don't know. I don't necessarily respect her game as much this season. I feel like she made the same mistake twice as far as taking out Netta the same way she helped take out her showmance in BB Can 3. And it's like you were learning, and then you made that same mistake around the same time in the game. They got you around the same placement. And for that, I mean, 4.5.
All right. That's right. I agree with Josiane, actually. I'm going to give Cindy the 5.5. I actually feel like y'all are both clocking each other's tea. I think Cindy and Netta have the exact same pros and very similar pros and very similar cons. I think both of them played very well compared to the general average Big Brother player for majority of the season. And I think both of them made mistakes that caused them to lose very similarly. So I just feel like they kind of are at the same level. No shade. Although Cindy didn't have egregious control, the chat already explained, like, having control and being this big threat isn't always the best. I think Cindy was truly in the best position of the game for multiple weeks until she made this bad decision, which is why I'm like, honestly, Cindy could have left this game making it to top 5 and being a 7 out of 10 for me. But I think the mistakes brings her down to the 5.5. I don't think it brings her down more than the 5.5. You know, I think she genuinely was playing at like a 7 or a 7.5 prior to the mistake. And then it's like, ooh,
really?
You got to go. She was playing amazing. She was not ever a target. Ever.
No, but
even when she went home, she wasn't a target.
I feel like it's easy to say she wasn't a target when there's like 15 to 16 people left in the game. Like, okay, she was not a target, but like...
She was the only one who was not spoken as a target. Dre and William were targets. Dylan were targets. Jackie was spoken as a target. Bruno and Kevin were spoken as a target. Demetres and Ika were spoken as a target. She was the only one for 5 weeks, never said her name as a target. I know it is easier.
But the thing about that is that something clearly was still missing for her to go home so easily the way that she did. I feel like that preseason, I was like, something about her game doesn't feel solid. Like, to me, her game was never solid in its place.
I can agree with that. I do.
I agree with that point, but I think this is it's about other players. I don't think it's a lack of what Sydney. I don't think Cindy with S could have done anything more in terms of like securing, because her people should have been her season 3 alliance. I just think that her allies suck. That's why she has no stability. It actually makes no sense for Bruno and Kevin for them to not back Cindy, but they're idiots. They're not good players, and that's why she gets 5.5.
It's similar to the Netta situation. It's dumb that her ally Cindy took her out. It's also dumb that Kevin threw Cindy under the bus the same week she went home. I think it's similar. Like, sure, she could have done better, but to me, better would be the 6 or the 7. I think 5.5 isn't that phenomenal. You're 0.5 above the average. I don't think it's that huge of a thing. Same with Netta, no shade. Like, 5.5 is cute, baby. There's gonna be people with higher ratings than that. So
are they?
Right.
Well,
I only see one person.
I see 2. I see 2.
I see 3.
I see 2, maybe 3. We'll get there.
Bruno, maybe 2, maybe 3. Let me 2, maybe
2, maybe 3. 2, maybe 3. Bruno, Lee, how do you?
He ain't one of them.
Absolutely not.
I mean, just terrible mismanagement of his allies. Hiding behind Netta for the most part in the pre-jury phase, post-jury after her leaving. He was like a deer in headlights, it seemed like. Like, they had nowhere to turn because they burned everybody. They tried to pull in Jackie, burned her within the same week, was trying to play on this, like, the vets need to stick together, yet y'all were the main ones tearing the veterans apart from each other. Like, I guess the things y'all were saying about Netta, I see more clearly for Bruno and maybe even Kevin a little bit, because at least Netta was actually making the decisions. To me, they were just in the background. And I find it impressive that they were smart enough to think, oh, let's make a side alliance with Dylan, Emily, and things like that, because those are moves that could help them in the long run. Unfortunately, y'all did not stay the majority. And I also, in a little bit of a sense, kind of agree with Josiane saying too, like, at the end of the day, Bruno and Kevin should have had a good enough relationship with Cindy to where they told Cindy to not nominate Netta, and Cindy does not nominate Netta. Mm-hmm. Like, there's 3 of y'all from the same alliance, and 2 of them did not want the move to go through, and she still did it. And it really ruined 2 of y'all's games because both y'all went on right after her. So I don't know. I feel like Bruno, he has a mindset for the game, but I think he's too much of a game bot, whereas he's not necessarily seeing the people he's playing with as people. He's more so just trying to move them around for his own benefit. I feel like we saw that in BB Can 3 as well, where like he makes good connections with the people that he's aligning with, but outside of that, it's very stale, it's very see-through, and it's very obvious what he's doing. He's a very obvious player in a lot of senses. So I think overall, I have to give him a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the 4. I see him as veteran Emily. Like, I feel like what Emily did, make alliances, talk to people whenever she's in danger, strategize if she's on the block. To me, that's what Bruno did. He made alliances. If he was on the block, he strategized. If he was in danger, he strategized. Outside of that, social game, not eating it up. Like, choosing people, allies from both sides, not eating it up. He kind of only talked to Kevin and Netta and Cindy all day, not eating it up. To me, very similar to Emily. I might bring her up to a 4 because I feel like they're the same type of player. It's just he came in with a built alliance. He knew these people. So he was always in a better position. I think that's why I'm giving him the 4, because it's like he can play that game a little bit more freely than someone like Emily because he has the actual core alliance and he has the actual core allies who will help him. Whereas like someone like Emily doesn't have a core alliance. You're in the fake alliance, sister. So I'll do the 4. I'll stick to the 4. I just don't think he's impressive in a lot of ways. For him to be a veteran, to come back and not even strategize with half of the house, that is crazy to me. You didn't even talk to half of the house. You were so easily taken out of the game as soon as Netta went home. It's like, it was just a no. He did so many bad moves, being on the wrong side of the vote the first round. It's like, where are you at, La La Land? And I feel similarly about Kevin. We'll get there. Josiane?
I'm fighting the score of it all because I'm like genuinely part of me wants to just give him a 0 because he pissed me off so bad, but that's not fair. Like, that's not an actual valid answer in terms of strategy. Like, I can't give him the equivalent to Mark. My issue with Bruno is this. Bruno does nothing He sits there. For some strange reason, people are charmed by him, enamored by him. I don't get what they see. They say that he's very charismatic, and that's people telling their experiences with Bruno. I can't see it. It doesn't translate on the screen. It doesn't translate on feeds. So quite frankly, I just don't get it. 2, I just think he's a horrible ally.
Yeah.
The only great thing he did ally-wise was campaign for Kevin once he got evicted. That's it. But like, he's a horrible ally. He had no reason he should not have let Dallas go home. Dallas was never coming after you. It makes no sense, Bruno. He should never have done that. He should have never let Netta go home, and he should have never let Cindy go home. He should have never done that. He was too complacent, and he was a better player than Kevin. But the only thing that makes Kevin outwit and outlast Bruno is Kevin's one connection with one person. Yep. What were you doing? And Aika, who literally saved you from being on the block, you've turned actively against her. Like, I just don't understand his choices. I don't understand his reasonings. He may be strategic, but ultimately, to me, the choices just like don't make sense. Like, they never make sense. Even in season 3, when he used the veto on Zach, he then went home. Like, to me, like, the choices, I can see the reasoning, but that's because I'm open-minded. That doesn't mean it's correct. It's right. So I actually want to give him a 3 because Netta at least is better than Bruno.
Collect that tea. Huh?
Bitch, catch it.
Next is Jackie 0. Josiane?
Oh, 0.
Lee.
Actually, let me get my lashings in. First of all, your microaggressions were crazy. Not only did we protect you once, you said it again. I don't care. There is nothing justifiable about you being microaggressive. Yes, you may not like someone, but you don't have to bring elements of race into it. Be a good person. If you want to be nasty and you want to be petty, be nasty and petty. You don't also have to bring in some racism in the mix. That's one. And that's why I've never liked you, is because of the racism. And I didn't want to spoil it because I wanted to let other people see. But you're also, your game, you're a rat. You're a rat. All you do is flip flop to the next person. And you're not doing it in a strategic way. You're playing it in a victim, poor me, white woman tears way. You're not a good game player. What have you done? Name one thing you've done successfully. Quickly. As the iconic Bianca Del Rio said. Jackie is a flat 0. No one in the house like Jackie. No one knows what her gameplay was. She just got here because there were other bigger fish to fry.
Clock it.
0.
Okay, does she deserve nothing for sometimes ratting people out to stay off the block?
Correct.
No, because at the end of the day, like, to me, okay, when Jackie goes to Ika and she goes, "Oh, the peasants' lines, Mama," Ika was already kind of on Kevin and Bruno's ass. Like, that's not surprising. Like, what she does is that she says stuff to not get herself into trouble, not to give information to then use allyship, right? She throws Cassandra under the bus because it seems like it's her and Cassandra. You know, she throws other people under the bus because she's like, as long as it's not me, which is fine, but it's nothing impressive. Like, she is not saying that because people like her. It's the opposite. Like, you could say Karen is likable, that she has a good read on the game. But Jackie, my God, you turning on Dre and William made absolutely no sense. You were a person of your own mind during Backwards Week. You could have voted whichever way you wanted to. And you decided to vote with Dre and William, who had your back weeks beforehand. Her gameplay makes no sense to me, aside from the fact that she's like, I'm just going to throw this information out in hopes that I won't be on the block. And she ends up on the block anyways. Jackie is one of the people this season who ends up on the block the most.
Yes. Lee, I think it's a valid. If you would like to give her a score, a point or so for that, I think that's valid. I'm not going to do it. I just don't care.
I'm going to just quietly give her a 2.
Remember the racism. Knock her down 1. Quickly.
1.5.
Okay, let's do 1.5. 1.5 for Jackie. Next, we have William. Josiane.
Oh, girl.
What would you rate? Head scratch. Who would you rate?
William. On va se parler en français pour un moment. William. Tu sais que j'ai envie de t'adorer, mon cher. Tu sais que j'ai envie de t'adorer. Mais franchement, pour Kevin, ton game, c'est Kevin. Ça fait aucun sens. William is so disappointing to me. You know that this guy is gaming you. You're talking about, oh, you want to be my boy, Toby. Then you're crying 2 seconds later when he doesn't want to be in a showmance with you. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. It's okay. It's okay. William actively saying stuff like just going against himself when Ika actually does benefit his game. Like I think he just gets stigmatized and used by Kevin, and it's just so rough. Like he wins competitions when he needs to, and but the secret power, like I just, yeah, and I want to like William. I do. We're francophones through and through. I want to, but like, is he better than Emily? Yes. Is he better than Netta? 3.5.
You gotta do it. You got to do it. Lee.
I just personally don't respect William's game at all. I don't really respect people who go into the house and just get digmatized and get blinded by the dick. Okay. I also get blinded by the dick, but that's not part of the game. Okay. When I'm at work getting to this money, that is what's important. Okay. I feel like as far as the game, he was heavily assisted by people like Dre, like Ika, like Demetres, the people around him. And when Kevin kind of sinked his teeth into him more and more, he started to pull away even from them, share information with Kevin that did not help him or his group in the slightest. He uses the secret power of beat on Kevin. Kevin does not save him in the triple eviction. Kevin blatantly tells him to his face, I don't want you. I have a woman at home, all this other shit. Like, it's like he almost, in my opinion, threw his game away for this man. This man goes on to win, and he doesn't acknowledge you at all. You know what I mean? And in the moment, I can definitely see why saving Kevin made so much sense, because he's like, well, this is one of my only other allies. Well, why is that, William? Are you only talking to Dre and Kevin? Yes, and that's the problem. He didn't talk to anyone down this entire fucking season. I'm convinced he only had a relationship with Ike and Demetres because of Dre. Dre helped him out a lot as far as status in this house, because it was Dre doing a lot of the social and strategic maneuvering. I don't really have much respect for William at all. I'm going to give him the 2.
Damn. No, that's right. I know that's right. Yeah, y'all said it. I think he is someone who will socially be blending in a lot of seasons. I think that's what happened here. I think he blended in socially. I think his relationship with Dre was easy to come across. Ike and Demetres, they liked him easily. It wasn't hard for him to, whenever he was around people, it wasn't hard for them to include them in the groupings, because I do think William is just a general likable person. And I think that's how he was able to get the benefit of Dre and then extended Ika Demetres. And Kevin didn't benefit him at all, but the relationship with Kevin at least. So I do think that that's something that he will always have. He can win competitions, which is not really much. But I do think in general, if he played again, he will be socially well liked again. I remember Jackie having a good relationship. Cindy liked him. Gary liked him. So it's like, I think that helps. And that's it. It's kind of all he has. No shade. Everything else, I feel like other people had to help him with within the game. For me, I'm going to do the 3.5 as well. Can't do higher. Lee, we have Dre.
Oh! My mother, my queen. I truly feel like her game was ruined by her playing in the season with half vets, because she herself got skewed by that. She got so obsessed with the idea of wanting a newbie to win that I think she kind of got sidetracked. However, I also feel like it's because of these newbies that she was never able to build a real allegiance against veterans in this game. People like Karen, people like Dylan selling her down the river like they did, and her leaving in the triple eviction is because they are scared, in my opinion, to go against these veterans, and Dre was not. I feel like in a way she shouldn't have been sharing so much information with them as well. That's on Dre, but at the same time they should have been actively listening to her, because Dre, unlike some people in this season, have been actively having a relationship with Dylan, actively have a relationship with Karen and other people in the house. She even tried to have a relationship with Jackie and things like that. Like, this girl was working these newbies for a while, but instead of, in my opinion, wanting to win the game, they all wanted to lose. So they sold her out, and then she goes home. And at the end of the day, that is a bad play for her. but I don't think necessarily that is a indicator of how bad of a player that she is. I do think that she had a pulse on this game. Her and Ika was working in tandem a lot, and if it wasn't for that move, I think she still stays in the game and can go pretty far as well, maybe even to the phone too. So I do have a lot of respect for her this season. I think that her biggest downfall was being so tunnel vision on only wanting to see a newbie win this. Because child, you failed at the end of the day. That's the crazy thing. You laid down your game forward and you failed. She truly should not have turned on Ika or attempted to turn on Ika at the time that she did. But I don't blame her for trying to do that because that makes sense. Like, are you going to beat Ika in the end? Can you beat Kevin? Can you beat, you know what I mean? So I can see why in her mind that makes sense. But she was not playing with people who thought on that same level. She was playing with people that wanted to suck and kiss their asses. No shade. And that was not good for her. So I think overall, because of the respect I have for her, because of the build up to her going home, I feel like it's for smart strategic reasons, in my opinion. I'm going to give her the 5.5.
Period. I'm giving her the 6 mamas. Miss
right.
Dre ate it up. Mostly because of how much power and control she had at so many different points of the game. I feel like it's very impressive how towards that week 7, week 8 area, week 6, week 7 area, she was able to have all of the information flooding to her. She was very close to Dylan, very close to Karen, obviously Williams. She still had Ika and Demetres at that point. She was the center of the game in a season where half of the people are veterans of the game. I think that is very impressive. If this was a newbie season, I think Dre could have easily walked they asses the way she played against veterans. And I think the only reason she did get sniped is because she tried to come for the baddest bitch in the game. I said it about Netta, I'll say it about Dre. If the baddest bitch in the game has to get you out, you're still very impressive. I don't think if she wasn't going up against Ika, it would be so easy to just snipe Dre out of the game like this. Once again, if this was all newbies, Dre probably could win this type of season. So I really think she's very impressive. It's just hard to truly analyze a pure game because she's playing against seasoned people. And I think every time we get a mixture season, it's kind of hard to really place it. But that's why I want to give her the 6. She's playing this well against these veterans. I think that's good. Josiane?
I'm going to say right now, because of the fact that the vets came into this house, I'm going to be more strict with them because they had way more advantages than the newbies, in my opinion. Because it benefits the newbies to go with the vets. It benefits the vets to stay with the vets. So, like, for me, I'm just going to rank newbies higher. And I'm going to give Dre a 7.
Period.
Because I think Dre played probably one of the best games this season. I think while she did make mistakes or she had some troubles with her campaigns, it's her first time playing. Like, the mistakes that Dre makes are not mistakes that vets should make, and yet they did those mistakes or worse. I think that she had her head on straight. She needed to go after the vets. Naturally, that's what you're supposed to do. It just so happened that Ika, who held her in high regards, actually had her back as well. And there were so many newbies, but Ika picked you. There's a reason why she picked you. She saw value in you. She had a duo in William, and yet, even though she had that duo with William, I feel like it was almost underrated. Like, that alliance was as strong as a showmance, in my opinion, if not even stronger in some cases of showmances that we've seen in this show's history. And yet people almost just like played it off. Oh, the French Connection. What do you mean the French Connection? That's a huge target. She had the newbies, she had Ika and Demetres, and she had her duo. She controlled Dylan towards the end of the game once Emily leaves the house. Like, Dre was a very, very good player. The only thing that bites her is the fact that she goes for Ika too early. And I think she was a little too trusting of Dylan because Dylan gets to then tell Ika, she's going against you. So that's the only thing. But that's 3 points, I think, I that are worth taking for someone who came in as a newbie. Like, I have to respect it.
I agree.
Period.
You're spilling.
Come on, Dre.
Come on, Dre. Next we have Dylan. Dylan is interesting. I feel like the positive about his game is I do think he's a social like sleeper hit, because you have to remember and consider Dylan is the only one who was on that other side of the house who was able to ingratiate themselves within this new group. He started off with Netta, Cindy, Emily, all of them. He was in that whole group. He started off with Dallas.
Yeah, he was literally Dallas, and
he
then
was
he got
literally
one
of the biggest targets starting off, and he was able to pivot and shift when Emily went home so eloquently to where he was literally in the whole 4 versus 1 of it all by the end of the game. He's literally ingratiated with Dre, with Ika, with Karen, with Demetres. And I think it's his social game. We saw the social moments he had with Ika. We saw the social moments he had with Dre. We saw how he was able to make Karen his number 2 ally. He made Dre his number 2 ally. Like, he was becoming people's top allies. And I do think there's some skill behind that socially. The issue I have with him is kind of everything else. Like, strategically, I'm like, what did he do again? What was his big move? Where was he maneuvering strategy? Where was he positioning himself better than other people? And I don't remember seeing that except for maybe the one moment of him telling on Dre. And it's like, should you have even done that? Probably not. You got literally went home next. So I don't think he was that great strategically at all. And I think his only good gameplay was socially, which is why I can't really give him too high for me. But I liked some of the moments. I'm gonna give him the 4, I think. I don't think I can go higher. Josiane.
No, I agree. I think Dylan he gets propped up by the women around him, which is good, but I don't know how intentional it is of him. He gets propped up by Emily to do smart things. Same thing with Dre, even Ika to a degree. And so, but strategically, I don't know if he's the best player ever. Like, I don't know. He was kind of just there. I don't. He's like a 4 to me.
Yeah. Lee.
Yeah, I'm going to give him the 3.5. I do feel like there was a lot lacking when it came to strategic, but I do think socially he was able to maneuver really, really quickly. And you know what? I'll give him the 4 as well, because strategically I do think that he popped up when it mattered, especially throwing Dre under the bus when he did. It really helped ingratiate him again.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue that Kevin putting him up was dumb as fuck in the first place. So I think I do fare well with the 4 as well.
Yes. Oh, we made it to Mother. Oh my God. Ika motherfucking Wong. Josiane Wong. What are you giving Ika?
10 across the board. Ika to me played the best game this season, and she deserves to win. Was it a perfect game? No. Is there things that she could have done differently? A little bit. But in the grand scheme of what this season is the Ika Wong season for strategic and entertainment values, and for that. And she's one of the few people I truly stan. So 10.
She is the player of the season. She goes home because of a competition win in the Final Four, which to me does not really take away anything she did this season. She worked it strategically. She didn't have the physical aspect, but she had Demetres, who was able to win those conferences. She was able to have a strong hand in the decisions that were being made. In the early weeks of the game, she's an example of you don't have to be the main one making decisions. She stayed in the background. She played both sides, and she waited for her moment to strike. And she took it during Cindy's week, and she executed it flawlessly. From there, she used her influence to get herself all the way to the Final Four. And if it wasn't for Kevin winning that veto, she would be in the Final 3 with a chance to win this game. I think that she dominated this season as an entertainer, as a strategist, as a woman, as a queen, as my mother. Yeah. I love her. It's a 10.
Yes, baby. Y'all know what the fuck I gotta do. I gotta give her the 10. This is my mama. This is my queen. This is my legend. Y'all said everything I wanted to say. Period. Demetres. Lee.
Demetres, hey, I really respect Demetres as a player. I think socially he was also really set up well. You know, even when it was him versus Ika, people really wanted to keep him in this game, and he was a competition beast. Like, it's not something to be looked over, the fact that he was able to get inside of that Veterans Alliance so easily early in the game, and they actually were protecting him for a long period. That also helped him be able to take control of the game once Cindy took out Netta as well. And him dominating in these competitions kept him in that power to be able to make very strong decisions. I feel like even though he I think majority of his game is winning comps. I think he did things with those competition wins. He didn't just, use we don't want enemies and try to take out their showmans and fail at doing so. He actually was actively making moves with his power, and I respect that. I do wish there was a little bit more individualism from him other than being paired to Ica. I would have wished to see him, make decisions more so on his own or without Ica's influence, because I think he does get lost behind Ica no matter how impressive he is as a player. Overall, I'm going to give him the 6.
All right. I'm going to give him the 6.5. I agree with everything you said. I feel like he was very skilled, and I do think one of his benefits was also the social game, the fact that they were going to save him over Ica because Karen and Dylan really wanted to work with him, or Karen at least wanted to work with him and keep him in the game. I thought that was impressive. And even at moments, Dylan agreed. So 6.5 for me. I liked it. Josiane?
I actually agree with everything you said. I think the fact that he's in third place is also something that adds to think. Like, I think the difference between him and Kevin, because I did say a few weeks earlier that they have similar games. I think that what makes it different is I feel like Demetres has a better social game. He's able to get Karen. He does have some sort of kinship with Dylan after winning the HOH and not putting him up. Same thing with Jackie. Like, I think he does things that are also very strategic as well. I just think he gets overpowered by Ica because Ica is Ica. So I would also give him a 6.5.
Period. We have Karen. Josiane, how you feel about Karen?
Karen, the mother that you are. Look, the paranoia was not great. It was not great. But granted, you're in the Big Brother house. It's something foreign. It's something new. I think Karen had great reads. I think she set out to do what she wanted, get 2 men out. She made a very good impression. And despite it all, they underestimated her time and time after again. She controlled a lot of the votes. She controlled from William onward, she controlled the votes. William is the reason why Karen's the reason why William goes home, Dre goes home, Dylan goes home. Ica, obviously, she didn't have a vote, but like at that point, like it almost doesn't matter. And I think regardless, Karen was always going to be prioritized over Kevin. So it's I think she did well. I think I have to give her a 7.5 because she outlasted Dre. And I think she set out to do what the newbies wanted.
I know that's right. Lee, what are you thinking?
I really respect Karen, especially talking about her after this finale. Like her ability to be able to get into these alliances and have people protect her and still, regardless, be in those final 2 seats. Like you said earlier, I think that no matter what had happened, she would have been in those final 2. But I also believe perception is reality. And a lot of the reason why she was not being targeted is because people did not respect her as a player. That's the reason why she received 0 votes. And I do think that kind of goes into the game that you play, because yes, it's impressive that she stayed safe for a while. It's also, well, why did you stay safe? So a part of that goes into place for me as well. But it's not lost on me that she had a pulse on this game. She recognized where the bones were buried. She was aware. Her paranoia was leading her to the right places a lot of the time. So I respect that. I do not think she's as bad as a player as people make it seem. But am I just overly impressed by her? I can't say that either. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 overall.
Damn.
Ooh, you hate Karen. No, I'm playing. I'm gonna give her the 6. I think she was actually really good at the social maneuvering part of Big Brother. I think Karen played a game that some people should take notes of. Like Kevin, like if you're going to have specific allies, make sure your allies are the ones who can propel you in the game. And she clearly did it intentionally. She brought that up in her speech. She intentionally allied with people who were going to propel her game and be targets in front of her. I think she's very impressive. I think it just doesn't seem that way. And obviously perception is reality, but I genuinely think she played this game to get her to the final 2 seats. So I got to give her that respect.
I'm going to change my answer to 6 because I think Demetres does play a better game than Karen.
Yeah.
And I think so does Dre, but she's high up there for me.
Yeah. We have last and least Kevin Martin. I feel very, very, very icky about his game. I do think he does certain things that I think helps him. He makes the connection with William, that one connection he had. He argues his game in a way that I think is slightly convincing of a different perspective than what is reality. But other than that, I think he just made so many egregious mistakes, even more so than Bruno, who I gave a 4. He was so against like helping his allies. He didn't do much to help Netta stay. He literally threw Cindy under the bus and she went home. He didn't actively campaign for William to help save Bruno in any way. Like, he really didn't do a good job at helping anyone around him. And then when he ends up at the end of the game with none of his allies, he's confused. I just don't love his gameplay. I don't think it's that impressive at all. Even as a winner, I feel like it's just not something I hold in high regard. But winning the competitions propelled him to the win. It's kind of the reason Ica didn't win, is because she couldn't win comps. So I have to give him some type of points for that. And I think that connection, that vital connection with William, I said is a pro for caring, having those vital connections. And I think I have to give him a little point for that. So I'll give him a 5. Congratulations. Josiane.
I'm fighting between the 4 and the 4 or 4 to 5 range.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give him a 4.5.
Real.
Because I just think that gameplay wise, I think he's below average. Strategically wise, I just feel like he isolates himself for half the game. I think that's a choice that he makes, which is fine. I think he ultimately does win, but it's so competition heavy, and that to me is not. It is strategy, but to me, it's not really at the same time. Like, it's just not something I'm keen towards. I'm not like interested in. I guess you saw the flaw in the game and you exploited it. Shout out to you. But that's why you get a 4.5. Social game 0. Strategic moves to me made no sense. Yeah.
You kind of spilling. Don't make me bring him down. Lee, how you feel?
I think I'm going to end with the 5, mainly because now that we're talking about it and dissecting it a little bit more, I actually do slightly respect the way he frames things and kind of exploited the system in a way. I think it is impressive because you're dealt the hand that you're given, and some of it was because of his own actions. But at the end of the day, he was able to study for those comps and he was able to win his way out from week 7. Ever since the jury hit, him or Demetres were the HOHs. So, he was a comp beast for the most part, but he was also competing against another comp beast. And if Ica was not in the end game in that final 3, I definitely understand why he would win. I feel like the fact that he got to the crown, despite the mistakes he made, is what bumps him up to that final spot of a 5. If he did not win this season, I would definitely say probably a 4 or a 4.5. But him winning to me bumps him up just a little bit more, because to me it is impressive that with all of those mistakes you made, you're still able to beast your way to the end in that manner.
Yeah. All right. I put him in order. And honestly, I'm finna bring him down to the 4.5 because I think Netta and Cindy should be above him. But we move.
I'm kind of surprised William is below Emily and Bruno for y'all.
Well, he's not for me. I have him the same as Emily. He's below Bruno for me.
I just really didn't respect William. I didn't respect him on the first watch, and on his rewatch. At first, he was controlling it. But during that time where he was getting in bed with Kevin and using the veto, not even just because he used the veto, but it's just like the logic behind it. Like, he was blinded by that, man. He was not in the game for a period of time because of Kevin.
No,
I can't respect it.
I just realized that Jackie's below Mark and he wasn't even
deserved.
That's why I had to give her that point, because I was like, no, y'all not for the
no, rightfully so. Jackie 0.
Deserved. So yes, our top 5 players of the season. Girl, I gotta give Kevin the 4.5. I'm sorry. This is pissing me off. Why are you above my bitch? So let's bump him down. Damn, he's still above her.
Because he won.
Well, technically they're tied, so you can move him.
I could move him. We're just gonna pretend he's below her. Our top 6 players of the season, we have Neda and Cindy at 6 and 5. And then we have Karen at 4. And the big 3, of course, Dre, Demetres, and Ica are the top players, with Ica at a motherfucking 10, as she should.
It's not even close.
Be. It's not even close. And honestly, obviously, I'm giving her extra points for carrying the season in so many ways. Strategically, she's still up there, baby. Don't ever get it twisted because we're giving her a 10. And strategically, she still would have watched everybody. She still would have been at the top. Anyways, we move. With that, y'all, that was all for the Reality Rewind series. Make sure you get your votes in for the next season. Of course, the link is in the description. Make sure you join the Discord. Of course, the link is in the description. And make sure you get into everything we're covering in January. It's a lot of shit, so get into it. And baby, thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, honey. We're
Bye.